Yes, people, what's going on? What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. As always, make sure that you lot are smash up the lights. Make sure that you lot are subbing to the channel. And make sure that you're following the mandem as well, man. Smaller panels for now, people. I think over the summer, I'm going to be doing more of these. I took a little bit of a break, man, because there's been a few things going on, you know, in the personal life and that. There's been a bereavement in the family. So I just haven't really had the time to be going live the way I was before. But yeah, of course, we're back now. We're back now. You know, there'll be a lot more streams of the World Cup and that as well. But I thought, let me get ads, man, like Romz on here as well. You know, me and these man always chatting ball. You know, I enjoy chatting ball with them. As much as Az has been trying to troll me recently, bruv. This guy knows this, you know what I'm saying? What's the man them saying first of all, man? You lot good?
Yeah, all good, all good. Also, I'm just happy to be here in a top that's not related to Chelsea, bro. I'm liking my French talk right now, so it's good, man. I'm in a good mood to talk about football, bro.
I echo them thoughts, bro. Like, maybe I'll get more hype for it once it starts, but the World Cup, I'm not getting that feels just yet, but maybe it needs to start. Yeah. But yeah, bro, I'm fed up of speaking about my own club, so yeah, you already know it's a Brazil thing, gonna rep them, and yeah. But what I have been enjoying, I think I can speak for all of us, is every video on Twitter turning into the Gabriel miss. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Bro. They've been banging with them videos. And the thing is, yeah, they keep catching me out, Romz. I'll be watching something thinking it's normal thing, and it will just catch me from nowhere, bro.
Well, Don, how about this now? It now feels weird when you actually see the original goal. Like now, you see it go to his penalty so much. When you're seeing the actual goal and it gets to the end and you don't see the Gabriel penalty, it feels weird. It's
weird, isn't it?
Yeah, you're expecting it.
Nah, facts. So I think we'll get more in the mood of it today, innit? I know you've got to leave a bit earlier, Romz, yeah. So we'll probably even start on the World Cup and whatnot, yeah. Because like when you start to speak about it, I think that's when you're really gonna start thinking, raw, okay, it's actually here now, innit? You know what I'm saying? It's actually here. And the mad thing is, after the World Cup, obviously it's the Euros, and that's back in England. You know what I'm saying, bro? That's gonna be back in England.
Oh yeah,
it's come around already.
2028. It's like England, Wales, and another country, but
Ireland. Ireland. Is it Ireland? Or something like that. Let me just double check.
It might be Scotland. It might be Scotland.
Where is the next Euros? They're trying to
I completely forgot it was here, you know.
Yeah, man.
While you're checking it, obviously, I think that's kind of what's kind of like stopped some of the hype of some of these World Cups in it. Because when you say being in just one nation, one area, because now it's USA, Mexico, and that's three big parts of the world, you know. So I'm trying to tie up to different group games is long. But again, like Robert said, bro, when it actually starts and the balls are being kicked and we're seeing goals, moments, red cards, controversies on the pitch rather than off the pitch, we're all going to be excited, bro, at the end of the day. Because there's a lot of narratives going into this tournament, bro. A lot.
100%. The thing is, I can see why they're trying to do it like this, because they're obviously trying to get everyone included. You know, like obviously with us here in Europe, we're quite lucky because like things are always suited around us. That's the reason why they've kind of done it over there, to kind of suit towards them, to adapt towards them on the other side of the globe, innit? Because bro, when man I've got us, you know, like me and Rose were chatting yesterday about certain games that are going to be on late, right? Like 3 a.m. in the morning and whatnot, yeah? Obviously, like, depending on the game, I ain't going to start watching that, right? But those guys in America, bro, a lot of them got to do that, you know, for our games, weekly, bro, you know what I'm saying? You got 12 o'clock kickoff, 12:30 kickoff and that, bruv. These lot have got to be up from mad early, you know what I'm saying? So it's a way of just kind of like putting yourself in their shoes, isn't it? I think it's a good way of doing it.
And it's good you mentioned that, Don. That's why that you probably, not even probably, you do have people in your community that are from the other side of the world and whatnot, and they're having to wake up at stupid o'clock. You'll probably get people in the chat now saying they have to, and that's why it's big respect for them, because they're having to do this week in, week out. We're only having to do this for a month. And it's not even every game you have to do that for. It's only, I remember me and you were speaking yesterday, innit? I think it's South Korea versus Czech Republic. That's going to be the first one at 3 a.m. Personally, I probably won't break my neck to stay up and watch that, but you get the gist. There'll be games that, especially when you get to the knockouts and the last 32 and the last 16, you're probably going to want to try and watch every game if you can. So man.
Yeah, I'm saying that. Look, there's people in the chat. Big up
they've said it already.
Bro, I wake up at 3 a.m. to watch us lose. You've got another one here as well. Snawu says waking up at 4:30 a.m. to get dunked on.
Do you know what? Bro, this is 2 examples.
I was asleep during that game. I woke up 10 minutes into the game, bro. So I feel for you.
This is why I big up people like, sorry if I butcher your name, but like the Sauls and the Motor Blues and whatnot, because
even Pierre as well. Pierre's from Canada.
big up Pierre as well, because this is why I hate this narrative of match goers think they're holier than thou. Oh, you're not even in the country anyway, bro. Like, when they're still going out their way to support their club in the best way they can. Sometimes it might not be financially possible to keep traveling for games or going to a game and whatnot. So if anything, international fans, you could say, are more dedicated than even the match goers, because they have to actually change the structure of their whole day to even that. So do we, but it's a bit different. Like, we're already in the country, already near the ground. So big up each and every one of you, man. Especially if you're waking up at them times to watch the game.
100%, man. But let me come to you, Romz, straight away. Anyway, bro. Like, we're gonna get straight into it with this World Cup, bro. Who are you putting up there in terms of your favorites?
I got four. Brazil, Argentina, France, and Spain. And I'll give my reasons for each of them. Yeah. For me, Argentina still have that grit, that know-how, that die for each other. I'm seeing Rodrigo de Paul the other day come out. You see how integral he was. I know Alvarez, Enzo Fernandez, McAllister, Di Maria, Messi, they all got the plaudits and the headlines the last World Cup they won. But you see Rodrigo de Paul, if you look at most of their games, he is rough and rugged, bro. Like, he was everywhere. He come out saying, we're all ready to die for Messi again. I think the last team to retain it was Brazil or Italy, one of them. But it's not been done in like 30, 40 plus years. So they want to be the first to do that. And I feel like they're going to be hard to beat. They're going to have that never say die attitude. I'm seeing a compilation of Messi last night already doing a man.
Yeah, bro.
I think he's ready. For me, France, the talent speaks for itself. I think they got a plethora of talent.
Let's go back to Argentina a little bit, though. Let's go back to them a little bit. Yeah. I feel like not a lot of people are speaking about them much, you know. It kind of feels like they're going
they're going under the radar, bro.
Yeah, bro. You know what I mean? What are you saying about Argentina, Ads? This was their team against Iceland yesterday. So they played Iceland yesterday.
I think this is part of why they go under the radar, because they haven't got a lot of big names. Like, they got obviously the Lionel Messi's, obviously Alvarez, Enzo, obviously. So they got some big names. Some of the older guard are still going to be there, but maybe other teams obviously got more bigger names that are maybe doing more at their club level. But as a team, as a unit, and you think about how teams normally win these tournaments, you win it from being defensively tough to beat, bro. And Argentina have always been defensively rugged. They've got good workers off the ball in midfield. And then they've got star power. They've got game changers. They've got X factor, whether it's Enzo from deep playing passes. And his pass compilation yesterday was crazy. And obviously Alvarez, I think, going to be one to watch this tournament for me. Alvarez is going to probably be amongst, the top scorers for me, in my opinion. And then there's still Messi.
This was their team when they played Zambia, bro. This is, you know what, they played Zambia a few months ago, yeah, and they smoked us 5-0, blood. That was the team that played.
Listen, and people talk about, like, I feel like they're not got the most like star-studded names, but at the same time, this is like they're probably their main team, really. McAllister's still there, World Cup winner, league winner, and obviously, like I said, Lionel Messi's there, bro. He could be in his 50s, bro. He's still gonna be more teched out than everybody else on the pitch, innit? So even if they give you 20 minutes here, 60 minutes here and there, it's still gonna be top level. So they are a serious team, and I think they're definitely amongst the favorites for this tournament for sure.
Yeah. I think with these guys, as well. Like, one thing people need to realize, bro, them conditions in America, that shit gonna be humid as well, man. You know what I mean? These South Americans, they're used to those conditions, man. Like, a lot of these guys, Alvarez, bro, before he came to Europe, was still playing was it Argentina he was playing? What team was he at before he came to City? He was still playing
River Plate.
River Plate, yeah. He was playing at River Plate. Same thing as Enzo Fernandez as well. Before he went to Benfica, he was still playing in South America, bro. So these guys are used to these sort of conditions, bro. Because one thing about, playing in the heat, bro, like where it's bare sticky and that, bro, to get the oxygen levels, the fitness levels have to be up there, bro. Have to be I forgot to mention that point. I'm so happy you mentioned that point, Don. That's why I think the countries that are used to the heat, even Spain is like quite warm all year round. Obviously, we'll probably get onto each of the top nations a bit later. But your Brazils, your Argentinas and whatnot. And this is why I think, as much as I think France go deep in this, we'll probably do prediction that a bit later. I don't think France win it, but I think they'll go deep. But what I think will affect them is the heat, the altitude level and whatnot. Because we're being honest, France and England are similar in terms of temperature and weather-wise, right? 100%, and so the talents that they have, they're gonna struggle. Even I don't really watch England too tough, but even when I'm seeing a couple of the England training sessions and whatnot,
some of them look exhausted already, and that's just training. Do you get it? That is just training. So imagine having to up that intensity for a match when things are on the line, the pressure of your country and whatnot. But yeah, them 4 nations are my top nation. But you're spot on, Don. I think this is gonna suit that region of the world, the nations from that region of the world, much more than the European.
We say that in terms of Argentinian players to look out for. Which ones would you say are the ones that you're looking at, bro? Because last time, if you remember, McAllister kind of just broke through. Enzo was on a bench. Enzo was on a bench like at the beginning, and then he kind of found his way into the 11.
It was the end of the group stage, and he scored that banger, and then he was just, young player of the tournament as well. Actually, Enzo, young player of the
tournament, bro. That performance in the final as well, bro. He played a big part in the goal they scored. The winning goal.
Don will tell you. I know he's like Marmite in your family. Some love him, you either love him or hate him. There's no in between. Don will tell you from the day you lot signed him, I think he's such a baller, bro. I think he's so underappreciated in you lot's family. But sorry, carry on.
I mean, I've found Enzo very Marmite even this season. But one thing I'll talk about him is when it matters, he tries to turn up and he'll always give 100%. And again, a lot of players are coming into this tournament with 50 games, 60 games under their belt, and even played last summer in the heat as well. So Enzo is one of those players. But I feel like you said, obviously the climate's going to suit certain teams like Argentina, and that's why I've got them as one of the favorites. I've got Enzo as a potential player of the tournament contender for me. I think him and Alvarez are going to be in that conversation. I've already said that, so we'll see what happens with that. And again, when the team's got Lionel Messi in there, like even if he's not having a good day, like imagine turning around, you're fighting, you're sweating. It's 60th minute, 70 minutes. You just see Lionel Messi's there. You're like, I got at my level because Messi's on the pitch, bro, with you. Like you're fighting for Messi. We've already won the World Cup with Messi. They want to do it again, and they want to go back to back. And teams like that, they're hard to beat, bro. They're hard to beat.
But HM says Enzo player the tournament is a wild take.
All right.
I don't think it is because Argentina will go far. They'll go,
and it's about moments, bro. The World Cup is about moments, and Enzo is a moments player, bro. He's a moment.
Bro, and Enzo's role for Argentina is he plays the role that a lot of Chelsea fans prefer him playing in, bro. He normally plays as the deep line playmaker. That is for me the best version of Enzo. I know he's learning this trade as a box crasher and all of these things, but when he's just in that first phase, dictating the game, controlling the game, that is the Enzo that I love. You know what I'm saying? And that's what he did.
There might be like a slight Chelsea bias because there's mostly Chelsea fans here who have been watching Enzo all season and love him or hate him. But again, I feel like Enzo is one of the top players for me. I think he's second for me in terms of who I expect to ball out this tournament. But I'm saying Julian Alvarez, bro. I'm saying for me, I think he's my dark horse for Golden Boot, bro. I think he's gonna ball out. I think he's gonna be the one this tournament, bro. For strikers, he's gonna be somebody to watch, bro. I'm telling you. And people will say this, but we'll see when the tournament starts and who the actual ballers are that rise up because Enzo's done it at a tournament. A lot of people that we're talking about, they actually haven't done it at big tournaments. Enzo's won a couple of big tournaments. So.
100%, bro. And then what are you saying about Barco as well, Ads? Because obviously, he scored yesterday. I saw some clips of the game. He looked good, to be fair. Like, what's your take? What's your take on him? And it'll be interesting watching him. Obviously, as a Chelsea fan.
Yeah, I'll be excited to watch how he does because obviously I've seen a bit of him at Strasbourg and obviously Brighton, and he's a good little player, very technical. So we'll see how he does. And in terms of Chelsea, maybe he comes in as like a backup left back. Wouldn't mind it, but listen, it's the World Cup. Huh?
He was playing in midfield for Strasbourg a lot of their games, bro.
Yeah, he's
even yesterday. I think he played left back yesterday, but I was seeing him like kind of going in that little left pocket as well.
Yeah, no, he's like when I say he's technical, bro. Like again, in that Brighton team of all the technical players they have, like he can dribble, he can pass, he's got a good first touch, he's got all these things. Like he's got the fundamentals as a good player. But it's Chelsea, bro. I need more than just fundamentals. I need mentality, bro. So that's another conversation, bro. That's a whole other conversation.
Facts. And then Doom says, I'm happy so many Chelsea fans jumped out the window and called him trash. It's gonna make the back pedal even funnier next season. But I'm not gonna act like I've watched a lot of him, but when I have watched him, I've been impressed. One thing I will say
about Enzo, to be fair, but I think they're talking about Enzo here actually with the back pedal, but with Barco again.
I think. Oh, actually, yeah, maybe it's talking about Enzo. But I'm seeing similar things for Barco too. I'm seeing similar things for Barco too. Bare people are, this guy, who the hell is this 5'8", 5'6" midget, and these things I'm seeing and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? But for me, I think it's a good signing as long as you sign starters with him. If you're making Barco one of your main signings, then it's a problem. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got a problem with him. I've got a problem with what comes after him. You know what I'm saying? So we got to make sure that we get the right signings in, man. But listen, we've got over 100 people here, man. Let's get to 100 likes real quick, people. make sure that you lot are following the man them, following ads, following man like Romz as well, and make sure that you're subbing to the channel. We're gonna get to 20K real soon, people. You know what I mean? But let's talk about Portugal, because we're on the theme of teams that are being, you know, overlooked right now. Yeah, Romz, I'll come to you about Portugal. What are you saying about them? Because I don't think you mentioned them earlier, did you?
Yeah.
No, I think I mentioned both Brazil, basically the best two in Europe, France, Spain, and Brazil, Argentina. They're the four.
You didn't mention England either.
This is why I love this show, because I've got logic to everything. You know me, Don. I'm just going to say
it.
With Portugal, right? My thing with them is they always have the talent. I just think there's a mentality issue. And I'm going to tell you, there's one player who I think is going to hold them back. Yes, not for me, but arguably he's the greatest to ever play and whatnot. But I think Ronaldo's going to start, right? Because of his mentality. Whether he's breaking down or whatnot, I agree. But he's still a mentality monster in that sense. He's an icon there. He's a legend. He embodies everything what Portugal means, right? But ultimately, he's a detriment to the team. And sometimes sentiment, not even just football, anything in life, it can cloud your actual judgment. For me, he shouldn't start for Portugal if they're to go far. And for that reason, I think he's going to be the focal point. He's going to be the center of a lot of things. And you know why? For me, it might even get even worse from a morale standpoint. I think there's going to be a lot of games this World Cup where Portugal aren't playing well because of him. He then gets hooked, kicks up a fuss, then it brings the morale down of the team. And I think he could be a big, big problem. And a lot of Portuguese fans don't want to hear this because he's one of yours, and I get that. I genuinely get that. But I think everywhere else, Don, they are blessed with talent that you're seeing here at the midfield. They've arguably got one of, if not the best midfield in the tournament. I think they're
they've got PSG's midfield, bro, minus Ruiz.
Exactly. And then even Bruno, a creative helper machine in Bruno just in front of them. And then their wide men, I don't know if Conceição went from Juve, but I love Conceição. There's a player that I want my club to look at. Leao, you know my take on Leao, Don. I think with spacing behind, he can be very effective. If there's not spacing behind, I think he becomes very null and void. But Ronaldo and Goncalves Ramos as the 9, I think Portugal, they'll be one of the teams that dominate teams, have a lot of possession, but I think they're going to get knocked out maybe round the 16 quarter final. I just don't think they're going to, people are tipping them to maybe win it and get semis and final. Me personally, I can't see it, bro. They got a good defense as well, like your Ruben Diaz's, your Inacios. They got Nuno Mendes, arguably the best right back or one of the top right backs in world football. But for
you mean left back? You mean left back?
Left back, sorry. But and Cancelo still. But they've got a good team, but they've always had good teams. And they, other than obviously Euro 2016, and we all watched that game, France dominated, but it was a moment of magic from Eder, and it got them through. But other than that, we've always got these high. I see Portugal and England as quite similar. Yeah, before everyone chops my head off, Portugal have a better team, and I think they're a better nation. But you always have this high expectation for both nations in the World Cup, and they always both just seem to fall a bit short. But I just think they're not going to do as well as people think they are. And I'm assuming CFC Gamer in the chat is probably Portuguese, because I've got a Portuguese friend and he cusses me. Obviously, we're brethren, but he's like, you don't know what you're on about, similar to CFC Gamer, but it's because it's their nation. They're attached, but they look at it objectively. I think CR7 is going to be a big problem for you, though. But again, we'll see. This is the beauty of football. We'll see if you're right or if I'm wrong.
Exactly, bro. How about you, Ads? What's your take on Portugal, man? Because to be fair, I'm seeing a lot of people saying similar things to Romz. The Ronaldo take fair as well. It's a fair take as well, man.
Another Ronaldo take I fully agree with that. Again, he's one of the GOATs. He's one of the GOATs, whether you like him or not. He is one of the GOATs. There's never going to be a GOAT debate or conversation, whether it's generation or all time, and you don't mention Ronaldo. You just have to mention CR7. But obviously, in terms of their team, like in terms of just him, right? Because he's obviously a big talking point. Should he be starting at 41? Probably not. But then, should you be starting on Goncalves Ramos? Also, probably not, because he's been pretty meaty of late too. When he broke out at the last tournament and he done his thing and he rightfully benched Ronaldo, that was a moment. But his club career hasn't really kicked off the same way since. Obviously, CR7, I think he's a great impact player to have. He's a great person to have in the dressing room, just like Neymar is at Brazil, just like Messi's going to be for Argentina. These are great guys to have. But is Ronaldo great at being the team player when he's not the main emphasis of the team? That's a whole debate in itself, and I don't think he really is. But that being put to one side, right? Because again, the chat are really riding for Portugal. And listen,
They're
Nigeria.
They're saying it's a wild take. I'm struggling to understand why it's a wild take.
No, listen. When Romz gave his top 4, right? Portugal are like that team that's like, what is there a big 5 or are they part of like the next group? And
they're like the next. Yeah,
for me, they're part of the next group. They're part of what you call the pretenders, I believe, right? And I don't say that in a negative way because you're right. They won a tournament, but they're in the same bracket for me as England, as the Netherlands, where they've got star power, they've got quality. They should be going to be like, we should be getting to a semis, really, but I don't think one of them might. But I don't think any of them are going to win the tournament. And with Portugal, what holds them back isn't the star names, because on paper, I'll be real, they have better star name quality players than Argentina. But as a team, does it all gel together? It doesn't ever really gel fully together. And listen, look at this team on paper, bro. Like, I was even going to mention them. It's right there on paper. Man, this team is cold on paper. It's a very cold team. That midfield's cold. And you look at what PSG don't have in midfield, and they have everything, really. They don't have like a linchpin, creative, like monster. And Bruno is that ahead of the PSG midfield. So that's great on paper. You have a proven goal scorer, Ronaldo. You have some decent wingers. I mean, I would take out Neto for Conceição. And obviously, Leao is an impact player, whether he starts or he doesn't start. So the individual talent is there, just like we've seen here, Mandem, for England for how many years? Does it now work in tournaments? With Portugal, it's yet to be proven. So maybe they have the right manager to do it this time. We'll see. But is it not Martinez again? This tournament? Is it not Martinez as manager again?
Yeah, I think it's still in charge.
I believe it is.
Yeah, he's there, bro.
For me, because I'm pretty sure it's still him.
You know what?
It is him.
I want to add on to something.
Before you add on to it, again, it's Martinez again. And I feel like these kind of nations, you need a proper manager to get them over the line with all the sort of different parts of this team. And I don't know if Martinez is that guy to get this team to win in a World Cup.
Do you know what? To add on to what you said earlier, add on to both your points. Even you saw Martinez with the golden generation of Belgium, with the Lukaku's, the Hazards, the KDBs. I think you had Axel Witsel at the time. Like you had Toby Alderweireld. You had from top to bottom Courtois and goal, and you saw what. I think he got them semis, actually. I think he was managing
a World Cup. They lost to France. No. Was that even him as manager? I think it was. They lost to France. He won it. There was that. And they lost to Wales when that was like a big upset. When they
exactly. Other than that World Cup, that was his only real scout for them. But you said something earlier about moments players. This is where I'll give Portugal a bit of grace here, because me personally, I don't think Ronaldo's a moments player anymore. And I think a lot of Portuguese fans, I've noticed it in the chat, and I've noticed it with my brethren, that they're kind of in denial. The idea of Ronaldo is actually better than the reality. But when you think of moments players, Conceição from Juve, I love. Yeah. Listen, João Felix, this is a player Don will tell you. A lot of people gave up on him. I always like João Felix. I think
he's going as well, man.
Exactly, he can create something.
To be fair,
with Ronaldo for Al Nassr, I think they won the league. And then you've also got Leao, a moments player as well. Bruno Fernandes, probably the biggest moments player in that squad. So
he usually cooks for Portugal as well, bro. Bruno, that's one thing about
No. The last World Cup he tailed off. He started, bro, and he tailed off.
Yeah, but what when I say he usually cooks, I'm comparing him to what he usually does for United. I know recently for United he's been more consistent, but usually when I watch Bruno for Portugal, I'm like, bro, you can clearly see he's enjoying his football for
qualifiers and that, Nations League and that he does. But when you judge players like Bruno, because now he's one of the elite creators of his generation, right? Again, go back a few generations, he wouldn't be up there with the top guys, the Lampards or whatever you want to compare it to, right? But this generation, he's a player of the year.
Creativity-wise, he would be.
Creativity-wise, he would be. I'm not even his biggest fan, but if you look at numbers, which I personally don't always like, but if you look at numbers, I think he can mix with most generations. But I agree with you in terms of like more talent and eye test and that. Then
you're not his biggest fan. I'll be honest. Listen, you're not his biggest fan, Romz. I'll admit, I've been his biggest hater for years, innit? So now he's a player of the year.
Same.
Now he's player of the year. I don't like it. I actually don't like it. But listen, he's player of the year, and he did kind of deserve it, right? And he's got the numbers. He's a moments guy. You can never take that away from Bruno, innit? But for Portugal, on the big stages, you always ask, okay, the guys of their generation, obviously Ronaldo always gets scrutiny, but Bruno, Bernardo Silva, you always look at these guys as well, just like the England guys we maybe we'll get to. You need to see these guys at big tournaments. And now Bruno, there's nowhere to hide, bro. You're player of the year at a top 5 league. So he has to be one of the main guys at this tournament.
That will give him confidence. That will give him a lot of confidence.
I don't remember what tournament it was. I don't know if it was the Euros that just went or the World Cup. I believe it might have been the World Cup. But like I said, he was doing well in the group stage. Correct me if I'm wrong in the chat. I swear he even got left out the more they got the further they progressed. One of the tournaments, I think he even started to get left out of the 11. Yeah. I can't remember what tournament it
might have been one of the Euros, maybe when he first.
It was the Euros.
It was the World. Because did he start the Morocco game? He hit
the bar in that game. I can't lie. He almost scored a crazy goal in that game, to be fair.
In the Morocco game.
They lost, yeah. But what I'll say is he's been getting progressively better in his club career and his international career. So it might be at the right time this tournament for him to just go crazy and get hella GA and take Portugal.
What team was that he scored a banger against for Portugal, bro? It was a banger, that. But it was when United were going through the trenches. I'm pretty sure it was last season.
I don't even know, but he will do that, bro. He'll go to like qualifying games and Nations League, and he'll just bang for Portugal. It's Portugal. Yeah. They're way better than what United have been in it. So
yeah. I think this is what it is, gamer man. Like when you're looking around here, like moment players. Yeah, you're right. Like Bruno, Ronaldo, Vitinha's one that likes to pop off a shot as well, bruv. You know what I'm saying? They've got a nice blend of different profiles.
Can I make one last point with Portugal, right? Because Romz brought up a great point about Martinez with the golden generation of Belgium, innit? Because that was like the golden generation of all golden generations, bro. From having like no top role players like in their time to having like just a litany of top players in the Premier League and around Europe, and they got some decent tournaments, but not really fulfilling what they should have done. Given they got Hazard, De Bruyne, Lukaku, etc. Obviously, now maybe he's learned something from that experience and he can take it to this Portugal where it's a similar situation. But with obviously Ronaldo, this is his last tournament. You would like to think he might spawn again in 3 years.
If he manages to find his way into the Euros as well, bro. You know what I'm saying?
He'll try to, bro. He'll definitely try to win it.
One thing you can't take away from him is his mentality. He wants to play for his lot, break that 1,000 goal, reach 1,000 goals and whatnot. I'll never take that away from him, bro. Who am I to take that away from him? But I just think with some people even cook me for my own logic. Some people say to me the idea of João Felix is better than the reality because Donald Trump is the player that I've always backed. But that's just my logic.
Bro, watching that guy week in, week out, it got to the point where I'm like, bro, I can't back this no more. The way I was
frustrated, didn't it?
Like, yeah, man, because the end product just wasn't end producting. Like, it got to a point now. It's like, yo, I hear it. You're a good talent, but in terms of your potential, you're just not doing what you need to do. You're not a good finisher, really. You're okay when it comes to shooting outside the box. Your creativity is rash, right? Your only really top skill that you've got is your ball carrying, bro. That's it. You know what I'm saying? Because João Felix carrying the ball is one of the best. But say that again.
No, I'm just saying, like, obviously, do you see how much talent these lot got? But like, that's the thing with Portugal. Look how much you've been talking about them and all the different components. Whereas Argentina, it's very clear they've won it. They've got their star man in Messi, but they all play for Messi. With Portugal, they don't really look like they all fit around Ronaldo, and Ronaldo don't really fit around them. And they haven't got the manager to like properly lead it. In my opinion, he can prove us all wrong. He can go and do it. But I don't know if Martinez is the guy to manage.
Ronaldo reminds me of them 30-year-olds in the ends that are still chilling with the teenagers and that, bro. Yeah, it's like, brother, like, why are you still here? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I've just done a bit of fact checking. Even the last major tournament, Euro's just gone. Slovenia took them to penalties, right? And they had a starting 11 of Costa in goal, Cancelo right back, obviously Diaz and Pepe, the Real Madrid legend centre back, Nuno Mendes, which will be starting this tournament, Bruno Fernandes in the midfield, which will be starting this tournament. João Paulino probably won't start, but I think he's gone with them. Vitinha, which will be starting. Obviously, this is a team with no João Neves, which is one of the better midfielders in world football right now. But the front three was Leao, Bernardo Silva, and Cristiano Ronaldo. The team's not much different from how it is now. And you're getting taken to penalties by a Slovenia team. Then obviously France knocked them out. But there's no embarrassment losing to France on penalties, right? But that's my thing with Portugal. I feel like there's, like you said, Ad, you hit the nail on the head with the England, with the Netherlands. There's always so much promise and expectation. And I just feel like they just always fall short for whatever reason. It could be team morale, it could be team cohesiveness. But there's just not... For some reason or another, they wouldn't. And now their icon and their legend is even older. We speak about every tournament, him getting older and him still being the focal point. I just can't see it. I can't see it. And again, like I said, what I love about football is it has to be played. So if people in the chat are right, they're right. If I'm right, then we'll get to see.
Listen, go on.
I was going to say quickly, even their group. They'll top their group, right? But I don't think it's going to be by any flawless competition. I think Congo they'll deal with. I know my Congolese man and probably don't like that one, but I think they'll deal with Congo. But I think in their group it's Congo and there's two other nations that are quite decent. Can't
Let
remember.
me go.
Colombia, Portugal is going to be a game, you know.
Exactly. Colombia, I think they'll deal with them, but not easily. It'll be by a goal margin, and I forgot the third team. But
the last team.
Yeah, Portugal. So Portugal are in group.
Yeah, they'll talk there.
Hang on a second. Yeah, this is all the group. This is all the games. Let me get them separate.
I don't know the group name, but it's obviously Colombia, Congo, Portugal, and then Uzbekistan. So you'd imagine they'd go through as
but so Portugal in Group K. So it's Portugal, Congo, Uzbekistan, how you pronounce that, and then Colombia. Yeah. Colombia.
I didn't even know. I saw it the other day. A little bit of a quiz. Do you know who the head coach of Uzbekistan is? I literally just see it this morning. Cannavaro coaches them. Yeah.
About like Cannavaro, you know. That's mad.
That's crazy. I'm just saying quickly, Portugal. Listen, if we're wrong, they're gonna come back and cook us, right? If the chat are wrong, hopefully they come back and show that they were wrong in it.
But won't come back.
Listen,
that's the thing. I won't even cook. I won't even cook the chat. I'll just say, "I told you so."
Legit.
Yeah, I'm saying this now because I know that I think 8:45 UK time they're playing Nigeria in it, who aren't in the tournament. Ronaldo's probably gonna score a hat trick in it. I didn't see anything about tonight. They're gonna probably cook Nigeria. Just leave me alone with tonight, man. Don't mess with me on Twitter. Just man.
You know what? That's what will happen, bro. Portugal will like 4-0 tonight. That will be saying, "See, Adam from the chat shit." Yeah,
this is what I mean, bro.
Right. Like, let's quickly talk about Netherlands though, yeah, because they're an interesting one, yeah. Like we're a similar age, man, them innit, and like when it comes to growing up, yeah, because I remember the World Cup. You know, I'm old enough to remember when Spain played Netherlands in the final, and you had Iniesta scoring the winning goal, taking off his top and that. You know what I'm saying? You had RVP and those guys.
That was a serious team.
Van Gaal was their manager at the time, innit? Was it Van Gaal?
Yeah, it was Van Gaal.
I think it was, yeah.
Van Gaal was their manager, innit?
That was the team of like, remember Dion kicked to London, but you had Schneider, a Ballon d'Or contender to Schneider at the time, Champions League treble winning Schneider. With Van Nistelrooy, Iron Robin that got to Champions League final that year.
Bro.
That team, yeah.
Let me just read out.
Van der Wilde, the flying fullback, I think was there. Yeah. They had a very good team, you know.
Bro, they had a serious team. They've had a serious team, and during that era, yeah, if you remember the Dutch players that were about, yeah, bro, Schweinsteiger and these sort of guys. Not Schweinsteiger, sorry. Schweinsteiger, yeah. Not Schweinsteiger, sorry, Schneider. I'm thinking of Schneider. He was one of my favorite. He was one of my favorite midfielders at the time, bro. Like he could have won the Ballon d'Or. He could have legit won the Ballon d'Or, bro. Like, that's how good he was. Yeah, I remember him at Inter as well, blood. He was cold at Inter, right? But if you look at their team, bro, yeah, like now, bro, the fall off is mad.
It's crazy.
Like the fact that Netherlands aren't in these conversations is crazy, bro. Like. You're looking at it now, Romz, your boy Reinders and that. Yeah, you got fucking, you got Reinders.
You're gonna have to eat that one. I hope I had. I still have faith in him, innit? I still have faith in him, but he had a stinky first year.
Who you think's better out of him and Enzo? Who's better out of him and Enzo?
Enzo is better.
Enzo's better than Reinders, yeah.
You know, I like both players, but Enzo is better still.
Fairs. So they've got Gakpo, they've got De Jong, obviously he's a good player. Gravenberch. They've got a few Liverpool man here, bro. They've got at least 3 Liverpool players. In that 11, right? Then you've got Somerville. I think Somerville's good, but when you're comparing it to the likes of Robin and that, bro, nowhere near it. Yeah,
I've always said Somerville's like he's at the Messi of junior Hoylets. Like, you know what I mean? Like he's so he has all the thing and no gear, all the gear no. You know the saying. I know the saying. And like his end product, he'll do everything well, skip past 2-3 man and whatnot. But then I've seen it for Leeds, I've seen it for West Ham. My club, obviously Liverpool, have been linked with him for the last 2-3 windows. I think there's potential Somerville because apparently he's still quite young. I think 23 or 24.
He is. He's still young. He's still young, bro.
He's still young, so we can improve.
Yeah, I mean, this is their
all the gear, no idea. That's it. Big up Calvi.
All the gear, no idea. That's it. That's the one. Yeah. So Van Hecke, listen, heavily linked to Spurs at the minute. Chelsea were looking at him, but it looks like we're not going near him at the moment. I think we're probably going to go for Lacroix, maybe. I reckon that's who we're probably going to go for. But it's been quiet with Van Hecke. Van Dijk, again, bro, he's not getting any younger, right? Van de Ven, I don't know why he played at left back the other day, but my man played there, innit? You know what I'm saying? And then you got Dumfries there as well. What's his name? Didn't get called up. Your boy, Frimpong. Frimpong didn't get called up, did he?
Yeah, deservedly so, bro. You know my thoughts on Frimpong. That Dumfries is, do you get it? He's better. And if it's not Dumfries, I think Gertrude, Frimpong's probably like their third best right back. Gertrude is, I don't know if Gertrude have travelled, but I know he's Dutch. And even he's better than Frimpong, bro. But that midfield three, again, on paper, De Jong, Reinders, and Gravenberch should be one of the better midfields in the tournament. But for me, I think we're all in unison with this. I think all of us, even the chat, their attack is what's going to let them down. Because what I will say about Gakpo, though, he's not the same Gakpo for Liverpool that he is for Netherlands, bro. His goal-to-game ratio is mad. He does his thing for Netherlands, but I think they got Noah Lang, who I like, but doesn't have a lot of international experience. I think he only played a few minutes the last World Cup. The Pies finished for me. Weghorst, a bit meh. He did all right in the last World Cup, but Marlon...
Some of these guys, bro, like, to be fair, like, if you look at the defense, that's definitely the best part of their team. Ake, Van Dijk, Dumfries, Hatto, Van Hecke, Van de Ven, and Timber.
Timber's not there, by the way.
I don't know what Hatto didn't play a left back the other day. He should have been playing there ahead of Van de Ven.
Timber got dropped. In fact, Gertrude replaced Timber.
Timber's injured, bro.
He's coming back from injury, Timber, in it, so he's still kind of working.
Yeah, he's injured. He's not so much dropped, it's just more like he's not fit in it. And the midfielders, De Jong, Gravenberch, Coop Miners, Reinders, obviously Martin de Roon, Gus Till, like some of these guys, I don't even know who these guys are. Timber's brother's still there.
Let me tell you about Till. Let me tell you about Till. When they smoked us 4-1 at Anfield, PSV, he cooked us. Him and Sagari cooked us. Till, I've only watched him once, but if I go off that game, Till looks like a decent player.
Till's a player. They got some good players, to be fair. Like, it's kind of funny looking at this Netherlands era, bro, because like maybe 10, 15 years ago, it was kind of the opposite. They had cold attackers and then no back line, and now it's kind of flipped. Their back lines, top names, but the way that they're even setting up, because I got a Dutch friend, he's been talking to me a lot about their team and how they're going to, flop at this tournament because he's not feeling confident at all. Because they're setting up with mainly Van de Ven as left back, which is cool. And then obviously got Van Hecke and Van Dijk. They'll have somebody at right back, whether it's Dumfries or Timber, where he's fully fit. But it's just, other than that, there's like, you look at the midfield, Till is decent, like I mentioned, but they're not got really a lot of attacking firepower. And then when you look at the attack, it's really a faded Depay. Gakpo, who's every now and then going to do a thing for Netherlands. But other than that,
where is Depay now? Anyways, is he still in Brazil, blood?
He's still in Brazil doing his thing, bro. Punching up man, just doing crazy things in Brazil, bro. Like, it's funny, but like they've just not got the attacking power to really be a threat. But they're gonna be like one of the big teams that can get upset by anybody, bro. That's what I'm looking at.
Netherlands right now, I'm listening. No one's as bad as Italy, innit? Because Italy is like the ultimate fool. Netherlands headed down that route. I'm telling you, bro. These men are headed down that route.
I'll make an early prediction. I don't even think it's a hot take, but I don't think they beat Japan. I'll even go as far as Japan probably get a narrow win in their opener because you know that
for me.
What for that?
For me, they're favorites.
Oh, for you,
Japan, yeah.
I'm with you, Ads, because you see them Japanese man like the Minaminas, the Matomas, the Maeda from Celtic. Them man fight for each other. You remember Okazaki for the Leicester Premier League? He's everywhere, bro. One thing with
Japan, bro. And the way when they played England as well, they were bopping us, bro.
Exactly. Yeah. And one thing with major tournaments have deep. You can have all the talent in the world. Hard work actually beats talent. And obviously, I don't know how old you are. Don beat like all of us are, I think, similar ages. Same age. So, Euro 2004. I don't remember it, but I remember glimpses of my dad and uncles putting on TV. Obviously, Greece won that. They didn't have as much talent as most nations, but they had that endeavor. They had that cohesiveness. Yeah. So with that,
look at Croatia, bro. Croatia got to the final, bro.
Exactly. No. Whoa. We're disrespecting them. They had foolers in 2018.
No, they had Modric,
They had a team. They had a team. They had a serious team. Yeah, but Romz, what I'm saying is, regardless of looking at their team on paper, other teams have
they all work. Like when you look at Croatia, bro, they were like that is what you call harmony. Do you know what I'm saying? Like they deserve to be there in it, if that makes sense. It wasn't just
synergy in that. That's why
if you look at England, bro, England don't look at like Croatia in these tournaments. We look like we've never played together. That's my point. Croatia have got a lot of chemistry in it. You know what I'm saying?
I'll even go as far to say Japan probably even top this group. That's my outside shout. Because yes, they might not have the names, but all their players just fight for each other, bro. And that's similar to what I was saying about Argentina, why I think they're one of my favorites. Because not only they have players that fight for one another, they got the talent to go with it. Japan, you wouldn't say necessarily have the top talent, but they got players that are going to die for each other.
And I think just to add on to that point, they haven't got like maybe the high profile names and maybe like crazy talent in terms of like PMP for that. But in terms of technical ability, the Japanese man are technically
technical as well. Yeah.
Technically sound. So they as work as a unit, whereas maybe Portugal got all these different
that Naruto.
Wait, what? I know about the man them in Japan. Obviously, they're different, bro. People can probably bring up, Matoma's dissertation and that. I'm seeing people talking about Naruto passion. Okay, that's crazy. Okay, the chat's moving crazy with the Japan talk. But in general, Japan are 30, bro. Like they got a set system. Any team playing like a 3 at the back in this kind of tournament where they're good on the ball and they can work it where it's going to be humid, which Japan are used to, and then in their part of the world, bro. They're not going to be an easy team to beat, man. They're not going to be an easy team to beat.
Who should we be looking out for then in this team, bro? The Endo.
I'm looking at Cuba. And listen, I'm looking at Cuba. People now are gonna start putting anime names in the chat, yo. The chat, chill, man. Like, they're gonna be crazy, but I'm
that's
looking at
the real passion is mental.
TT have killed me, bro.
I'm telling you, bro. Like, you see, I'm telling you, bro. Yeah, bro. Chemistry is so key. I'll let you finish, Ads, because that's the point I was making about Croatia. I'm speaking about their chemistry because England on paper should be one of the favorites. But I'm telling you, bro, when I watch England, I just don't see the chem in that team. I just don't see it.
Just if you go back to old school people, there's just hella yellow links, red links. But with Japan, bro, it's all green links. They all know how it works, bro. And the player that I'm looking for is Kubo because listen, there's no like star name, no world class player in that sense. But Kubo, we know about his time at Madrid. We know that this guy's been like a young talent, like a star boy in a sense. He's had a decent career. He's had a decent career so far, but I feel like this is a good stage for him to show his level, what he can do, and maybe be that star kind of player that's emerging from this Japanese team because it's a very good crop of talented players, no necessarily star guys, but they've got leaders. They got Yoshida, who's a leader, who's been there for ages. Endo, who's a leader. They got good experience, man. So they got a really good blend. And I didn't need to see them.
They got a black goalkeeper, blood.
That's kind of crazy. I didn't. When I seen him,
he linked to United. He was linked to
United. He was linked to United. Yeah, he was linked to United. Suzuki, bro.
He even linked to anybody. But my point is, I didn't need to see them beat England to know that they're just a very well organized unit. But then watching that game live, full 90 minutes is like, bro, you just know what the Japanese guys are on, bro. So
do you know what?
Don't think this is lightly at all.
I've got a player who, similar to what you said, as I think I was probably even giving them a bit too much disrespect because with that Japanese team, like your Kamadas with your Kubos, Matoma I know is not going because of injury. But you're right, not only they work hard, he's injured. I think hamstring injury again. Even like Minamino for us, he's a cult hero for Liverpool because that he was still a good technical player that worked hard. But there's a player that's not technically the greatest, but he works hard, and that's Maeda from Celtic. Because I looked into their title race. Obviously, them and Hearts and Rangers were going band for band.
What position is he?
He's a centre forward, bro. But the only thing is he's very wasteful. He misses a lot of chances. But Don, he's gonna be pulling centre backs. You know how sometimes you would say before Cole got injured, sometimes he didn't like defending wider areas, which I think he's that type of player that brings centre backs to wide areas, bro. Maeda for Celtic, he can be wasteful though. You'll probably see him a few times this tournament have a one-on-one because I was looked into Rangers and Hearts and Celtic for the last 10 or so games of the season. Maeda would miss a lot, but bro, he runs. Similar to Okazaki for that Leicester title winning team. Just runs, bro. And they all do, but
they all run.
They were good at the last tournament, bro. Like even against Germany, these are the same man running them down, bro. They were great against Germany in the
they got Tanaka.
They got Tanaka from Leeds, yeah.
Even Maeda's the guy that was chasing Rudiger around when Rudiger was doing that sort of like that, that running thing that Rudiger made famous at the last. The high knee thing and that, bro. Like Maeda was there, like causing these man have it, bro. Like just and at a tournament like this, he's gonna be chasing every single loose.
Even Kamada from Palace. And you know what? Do you know what? People got the wrong idea. Because I remember he balled out under Glasner. I remember when they beat Rangers in the Europa League final for Frankfurt, right? Then he's moved to Palace, and Roy Hodgson was playing him more like a 6, and he's not really a 6, he's more of an 8. He swapped him and Wharton for Palace. Now they just had their best Europeans, like they won a European trophy and whatnot. Bro, Rodgers was platforming him wrong. The minute Glasner came and said, no, you've got the quality to be further forward. But I remember when we played Palace, when they beat us 2-1 and then Ketia scored last minute. Kamada was class that day. And we hadn't lost yet that season. So we went into there with our tails up. He was one of the better players that day. Always one of the better players. But
and you can see some of the teams that some of their players come from like they've got a lot of players in Europe, bro. Ajax, Feyenoord, you've got Ajax, Bayern Munich, Werder Bremen, Copenhagen, Liverpool, obviously with Endo, Palace, Genk, Celtic. So, bro, these are players playing at decent teams, innit? Don't just look at Japan on paper and think, these guys are rubbish, bro. These men are playing in Europe, a lot of these guys. So they understand They've played with ballers. They've played against ballers. Don't sleep on these guys. You know what I'm saying? I actually hope that a team that isn't expected to win it wins it, bro. I'll be real. Like, obviously, I want England to win, of course, but
this is where me and you are different, bro. I need Neymar lifting that thing, bro. Don't be doing that, bro. I need Neymar to have the story. Don't be doing that, bro.
No, hey, I've got my kit downstairs. I've got my kit downstairs, man. I've got that yellow one coming as well soon. Big up Jersey FC Soccer Shop, bro. And in fact, I didn't even shout them out today.
Yeah,
big
shout them out
every single time, man. Jersey FC Soccer Shop, Don CFC for 20% off at checkout, people. Make sure that you're checking them out. Like I said, all the new Chelsea kits are on there now as well. If you want to get the PSG kits, they're not available yet, but you should be able to still order them. And again, like I said, all the international kits are going to be there as well. A lot of the World Cup content you're going to be seeing on the channel, I'll look to wear one of their kits every time, innit? Ideally, their international ones as well. So make sure that you're checking them out. Don CFC at checkout, people. Let's talk about England, though, innit? Let's talk about the elephant in the room, man. Because, like, let's be real, man, then, yeah. We should be way more excited and about this tournament and, like, yo, ready for it and that. And end of the day, there's a lot of people who are looking at Tuchel right now and they're like, yo, Tuchel's going to be the guy that does it for us. Whereas for me, I'm like, Tuchel's a good cup manager. I prefer him to the league, in all honesty. And he had a really good run with Chelsea. But I'll be honest with you, man, then. I don't see Tuchel replicating what he managed to do with Chelsea, bro. again. Because what he did with that team, man.
Do you know my hot take with England? And the chat might disagree. Even you two probably will disagree. I think they get knocked out of the earliest knockout stage. I think that's because it's 60-14-32. I think they have a early. I'm talking Iceland 2016. I think they have an early.
What you think? Well, out of the fucking what? Like in the first, Iceland not to start in the first game, innit? First knockout game.
Yeah, the first game.
They took the group just about the world, and they faced Iceland and got knocked out. Yeah,
they played Iceland and got knocked out. Yeah.
The first round,
yeah. The reason why I'm going to explain my logic here. Whether you think, on paper this, on paper that, normally international tournaments don't go like that, right? I watched something this morning and ITV put out a tweet about they're pronouncing their names and that. And I've gone through the talent and I think, for once, normally people always say England got the talent, they don't have the manager with Southgate, which even then you could say they're a bit disingenuous. As much as he's a bad manager, he's still got he's the most successful manager ever, right? But I don't think he's taken enough moments, players, yeah? I look at this England team and I see Kane, Bellingham as the main two. Some will say Rashford. Rashford's had a few moments. Some will say Saka. You know my thoughts on Saka, Don. But I would say for England, I think he got the equalising goal, the winning goal against Switzerland in one of the knockouts. Was that I think that was even World Cup, not even
that was in the Euros, bro.
Euros, sorry. So Saka's got moments. But I look at this England team, and this is where I think even Harry Maguire, say what you want about him, for England, defensively and offensively, he does his thing. Look, I know Palmer and Foden, you know how much I love them ballers, Don, yeah? But even them two, I know they've had poor seasons, but they're still, some would say Foden for England isn't, which I can agree, but Palmer, when I saw some of their names that were left out, they've not had a lot of game changes. And I'll give you another hot take. I don't even think they topped their group. I think Croatia topped the group. I think England I think they got Panama. I think they beat Panama. But I think they draw to Ghana and Croatia. And that's how I think they get knocked out. I think they get a first place of another hard group. And I just think it just doesn't gel. And then you're going to get England fans saying we should have never appointed Tuchel. I just think we're really going to underperform this tournament. I've had this feeling for a long time now. This isn't recent. And even when you watch, I don't watch England too tough, but the games I've watched under Tuchel, it's that same old England, lethargic, slow, like nothing just looks like anything.
Honestly, it's dead, bro. How about you, Ads, man? What's your take on England? What do you think?
Bro, these lot will do? They're a good cure for sleep, bro. Because if you want to watch England for 90 minutes and you stay awake the whole time at a good hour, fair play to you, bro. Because they're hard to watch. I never see the tournament time now. And obviously, we know what Tuchel's like in tournaments. He's going to have the right team talks. He's going to get them arms. He's going to have the good tactics. But has he brought the right team, the right blend of players? I don't really see it. Because again, what I saw from New Zealand that they played, that lineup in the first half when it was obviously.
I didn't even watch that game, Ads. I'll be real. I didn't even watch that game. Bro.
It was on in the background for me, obviously, because I can't watch England like full focus when it's not mattering. For me personally, I'm just being real. I've got too much going on. But that lineup in the first half, no left footers. Like no left footers. Does he want to do that in the World Cup? Like
he's got his left back in it again. He loves that one. He loves that. That's his thing right there.
And even though people be like, "Oh, he got the assist," I really don't care because it's New Zealand, bro. Like, listen, no left backs in this team. The way that they play, the way it's so slow, and then you have Harry Kane up front, who is a legend. Who again, you can talk about like the top players we talked about, right? Messi, Ronaldo. Obviously, Kane hasn't won as much as these guys, but in terms of being like that guy for your nation, he's that guy right now. He's got like, I don't know, the most GA in all of Europe. He's probably for me the player of the year so far, and maybe contention for the Ballon d'Or for me. I think he's right there in terms of the conversation, Harry Kane. But how the way England utilize him, you need more around him to actually make it work. Whether Bellingham's going to run off of him, whether Saka's going to step up, like he has at times for England. But then on the left, it just reeks, bro. I'm not trying to see Gordon start ever. Rashford, he can give you a thing every now and then, but then is it the right blend of players with how England are playing? For me, it's just not, especially with no overlapping left back, how the midfield normally works. We've seen it, guys. We've seen this how many times? And my hot take with England, right? Because bear in mind, guys, other than maybe beating the Netherlands, who are, again, in this sort of pretender category, right? England don't really beat big nations at big tournaments. They don't do it. They don't do it. In fact, let's be real, isn't the stat that they've never beaten any big nation really since 1966, bro? On home soil.
There's one nation they did beat.
Oh, when we got to the final last tournament, yeah, look at the teams we played to get to that final.
No, but in the Euros, in the Euros that was in England, the only one I give them credit for is Germany when Sterling did a madness. But your overarching point is spot. This is what I was saying to my boy earlier. Like he's saying, I think England one of the favourites. I said, bro, how many times have we done? And like I said, it's the inverse this time. I think they've got the manager too. I just think the personnel ain't there. Whereas recent years, I think the personnel's been there. And I know Southgate got them far, but like you said, when he met his match in the France's and even that Croatia team, even on paper, you probably still would have put England to do better against that Croatia team.
We were getting through. We were getting through for moments, bro. Even the last tournament, yeah. If you go check the creativity levels with England last tournament, right? They were one of the worst, bro. They were one of the worst. Remember the last minute goal from Jude? You know, Saka turned up one game. Like Palmer came on. When Palmer came on, he brought an injection of creativity. I remember he got the assist for
Watkins moment. Yeah,
in the final. Yeah, he scored the only goal that we celebrated in the final. But overall, bro, like England aren't that fluid. You know what I'm saying? We're just not that fluid. And it just seems like the players that he's brought, bro, there's some good players here, yeah. But bro, certain man like Morgan Gibbs-White, right? For me, I don't think Palmer should have gone. Morgan should have been the one that went ahead of him.
He's the informed guy. He's the informed number 10 in the league. And
do you know? I don't care if Palmer had a bad season or whatnot. He still has that moment, and I know it's come very few and far between this season. Even the Foden thing, I can understand because City fans are saying the same thing you said, Don. We don't want him to go. He doesn't deserve to go. And you know why that's valid? Because you think of England and Foden, he's not even had that standout. Palmer's had the equalising goal in the Euros. Do you get? And not even that away from the goal.
The semis as well, yeah.
Exactly, bro.
And Palmer was bad in a bad team. Foden in the team that was challenging for the league, 1-2 domestic cups, still had an awful season.
But the thing is though, even like these games that Palmer's played with Tuchel, he's not impressed, bro. I'll be honest. And it's like I get it, like he's got moments in him. I do get that point, bro. But for me, if you're gonna make space for anyone in that position, it has to be Morgan Gibbs-White ahead of Palmer. I can't look at Palmer this season and say, yo, you deserve to go because of moments ahead of a Gibbs-White that is on fire. He's feeling confident right now. Yeah. Like he's not injured as well. People need to remember Palmer's still, I don't know if he's still nursing something, but he's not moving correct in it. You know what I'm saying? He's not been moving correct.
For me, can I just say that if it's between Morgan and Gibbs, I would have taken both personally, right? I think Gibbs-White is ahead of Palmer, but I'm still taking Palmer ahead of like an Eze here for me because again, everything you said, Don, I agree with the logic fully. But Palmer's still done it for England. And he's also done it in another World Cup for Chelsea as well, in that same climate, in the same country, done it in the big moments. It wasn't like I had a crazy tournament, but against PSG, when it mattered most, first half, a brace and an assist against the best team in the world. So like he's shown he can do it when it matters. So bring him off the bench, 20 minutes, and just same with like a Trent. 20 minutes to go, you need a moment. These guys are there, bro. Like bring them on.
Yeah. Facts.
With Trent, it's a bit different because he's in a back four against some of the best attacking talents, right? And we already know his defensive frailties and whatnot. But with Palmer, I even forgot the Club World Cup thing, and he's already produced in that climate. But it's not even just that.
Very good point. Very good point.
International football is slower, so I think that suits Palmer's game as well. It's not high octane like the Premier League as much. But I've never really supported England around. I know obviously from me and whatnot. But I'm looking at there's 3 names here that if I did support them would just depress me. When you're looking at Henderson, Madueke, and I don't care if Madueke won the league. We all have eyes. He wasn't integral or pivotal. When you're seeing Madueke, Dan Burn, and Jordan Henderson, it's like, how can that fill you with any confidence if you support this nation? Like it doesn't make no sense, bro. Like I said, for me, there's only 3 out-and-out game changers in Jude Bellingham, Harry Kane, and Saka. And even Harry Kane's a question mark because for England, I think Sterling.
You just say Saka, bro. I'm sorry.
That's a big goal. Don.
Saka, you can't do it, Don. You can't do it with Saka. Not for England. Not for
England. Yeah, you can't.
If we're gonna do that, then don't cook Madueke then, because he's actually been good for England.
No, but Saka's had a big moment. The equalizer against Switzerland, like he still had a big scout, and even he was in the build-up to Palmer's goal when he checks it back to Bellingham.
He was. But I'm just saying, like when I'm looking at that team, okay, yes, Saka's got a good.
By the way, the chat. I'm like Don. I think Saka's overrated. I don't put him in that pedestal, but I have to be objective here. For England, if you're going to look at game changers.
I hear the history. You're not wrong when you say Saka's got a good rep with England. You're not wrong. I'm saying now, bro. I'm talking about the now. And the now, I can't look at Saka and say, yo, you're going to have a moment in you for England, yeah? Because, bro, I am not seeing this guy performing at the level that he needs to be performing at, bro. You know what I'm saying? And then when you've got Tuchel coming out saying, he's not even training every day, we're having to nurse him. Bro, that's a man that's literally crippled right now, and I'm playing through pain. He's playing through pain, bro. That's what he's playing through.
You know what?
So I'm not looking at him and saying, yo, you are going to be the difference for us. I'm not. I just have to be honest.
Do you know what? If I'm now going back to the game changers, then there's probably only one you can actually depend on. And whether you rate Bellingham or not, it is him, because we've seen time and time again for England, he has. But even Harry Kane, there's me saying he's a match winner and a game changer for club, because for England, he's been at the receiving end of if you want to use the word bottling, because Sterling, I don't care what anyone says, Sterling was England's best player in the tournaments where they got far. Sterling, you could depend on Sterling. Harry Kane's the one skying penalties and not squaring it when he should. Like he was detriment. So
yeah, Kane always freezes in the big moments for England, bro.
You know what, man?
Remember against France, bro. I got reminded of that penalty.
Yeah, bro. How did you forget? How can you forget that moment, bro? Because that tournament, you're looking at Kane like, this is your moment to step up, just like it's this tournament. Now he's got a league under his belt. You've got a trophy. Now Kane, show us something. And in that knockout stages, he was dead. He had the penalty. Cool. You put the first one away. You scored a penalty. Whatever. The second one, okay, that's clutch. It's against your teammate. At least put it in a corner. He doesn't expect it. You put it over to bar, bro. Listen. In terms of this tournament and pressure on certain players, Kane is at the top of the list, bro. He has to perform. Do you know what? He has to do this thing in the tournament, in the big games especially.
You know, Ed, going back to what I was saying then, I literally said 3 to 4 game changers, but there's probably just one definite game changer, because the other 2 you could say that's proven. Other 2 you can say I have question marks. Like I don't know. Like I said, my bold take is a lot of people said, they'll get knocked out, but maybe a bit later than I expect. I think the first knockout round, they're gone. I remember as well, you know, in the group stage, remember 8 third-place teams go through. So I think a win will get you through. I think all you need to do is get 3 points over 3 games to go through.
The thing is,
before you come in, though, can I get my bold take? Because mine's kind of the opposite of Romz. I do think, in general, I don't think England are going to go far, right? In general, the way Tuchel sets up, they're not good against the lesser teams. Maybe against the better teams, they might be able to overcome this thing of actually beating a big team. Because like I was saying earlier, the actual stat is away from home soil, they've not knocked out or beaten a big team really ever. That's won the tournament. Only really Netherlands at the last one was like a really big win, which is like fair play. But Germany, obviously that was home soil. 96, they had a good run. That was home soil. 1966, home soil. Other than that, when they face a Portugal, Portugal haven't won it either, but normally they lose to Portugal. When they face a France, a Brazil, Argentina outside of the group stages, they always lose to these nations, bro. So maybe this time with Tuchel, maybe Tuchel can build the underdog spirit and get the right setup against a good team. Maybe, but they could easily beat a big team in the first knockout stage. Maybe. Everybody's hopes up. Then we go and face like a Japan, Morocco or somebody, and then lose to them, bro. That's what I probably see happening for me.
And make sure you don't smash up the lights, man. We haven't even got to 100 yet, people. Nearly 200 people here, man. Let's get to 100 lights real quick. But yeah, man, with England, I think what it is with guys like Eze. Listen, Eze he got bust, right, because he won the league for one.
Definitely vibes, bro.
And Palmer wasn't good, and then on top of that, we finished 10th. So he's so far away from making that team in comparison to someone like Eze. Because you put Palmer in that Arsenal team, performing the way he did this season, he will still get called up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You know what as well?
Eze just went because they won the league. That's it.
You could say it's my Liverpool bias, and I didn't watch England's last game. I'm only going off what people are saying. But forget even without watching that game. I think Rio should. Walcott went in 2006. I know he didn't play much, but I think England don't have that profile of a Rio Ngomoa. They just don't. So even if you're not going to start him, which obviously he wouldn't, they're not going to start at 7. But again, I think we're the only nation that adopts that mindset of, yeah, he's too young, we can't start him, because you've seen Yamal for other nations. You've seen Mbappe at 18 for
Sterling at 17, bro. Like in and around the England team already. Like Liverpool.
This point Romz is making. I've had this debate many times over the last few days, bro. There's no absolute reason why Rio Ngomoa should not go to this tournament, bro. Because when you look at what this team is, the squad is lacking. It's lacking the star quality, whether it's like a Palmer to do something, Trent to do something off the bench. If you look at England's bench, if let's say who they're going to bring on, let's say 20 minutes, you need a goal against somebody. Noni Madueke, that's not giving me anything. And Gordon's not giving me anything. Ngomoa's got that something like, okay, that's fresh energy, unpredictable. Half of these men won't know him in America, so he's going to have something, and he's fearless. I don't see that fearlessness from the rest of these England players, bro. Saka, when he was younger, used to have that. Now Saka's more of like a, he's good for England, but he's not that sort of X factor. Ngomoa could give you that, and for now, we've not taken it. We've said we've gone for Gordon and Madueke as game changers, Eze as game changers. They didn't do that for their club, and they're senior. So for me, that doesn't.
Yeah, exactly, bro. And this is why you've got guys like Jordan Henderson, just taking up space. Like, just taking up space, bro. Like, why are you there, though? Why are you there? You know what I'm saying? And don't be surprised if you see Tuchel, yeah? Don't be surprised if you see Tuchel even starting this guy, bro.
If he starts Henderson, then it's crazy. Because
that's what he does.
If you take an Ngomoa, I hear your point, but if you take Ngomoa there, then you have like a Henderson as like somebody in the dressing room. Okay, I kind of hear a Henderson like being there, I guess. But when England have the midfielders that they have now, whether it's Anderson, Bellingham, Rice, who's won the league now, and then Wharton, who should have gone for me over Henderson. It's like Henderson's there. It's like, all right, you haven't even brought the young ballers to have Henderson really be useful for what Henderson should be there to be in America doing. But
you know,
and then Dan Burns there too. It's like, all right, man.
Do you know what's mad as well, Ads? Yeah, you see with Rio, my club had, in my opinion, because of context, how much we spent breaking the record twice in summer. Me and Don have had this conversation many times. For me, it was the worst season that I've watched over Hodgson and whatnot because of the context, and we were champions and whatnot. It's the worst season I've seen. But Rio and Szoboszlai were the two constant. Szoboszlai tailed off. But Rio, you know how everyone says you should be picked for your nation based on form? Most games, he was minimum a 7 out of 10. Whether he impacted the game, came off the bench, or whether he started the game. So even if you want to go down the form route, he's good. And then apparently he had a good second. Well, not even apparently, by the man of the match and what all the England players are saying. Second half, he was the better player. Do you know what? God, I don't wish an injury on anyone. You know, the only saving grace for Rio, it's what him, Alex Scott, and Wharton that I think went to England to help them, right?
Yeah.
And I think Josh King. Rio's only saving grace will be if one of the forwards get injured. I think he's going to be the first to get called up, especially off what he's just done in Florida in that climate. Again, I know it's New Zealand, but I think that's his only way of sneaking in because we've seen already late injuries where someone has to get called up. You saw it with Netherlands. Timber got injured. Even though he was coming back from injury, they ruled him out. Gertruda's gone. I think someone else also got called up for another big nation because there was an injury. I can't remember off the top of my head. But Rio, I'm not saying pray for this guy. I'm not bad man, but his only hope is if someone was to unfortunately
apparently he's not on the reserve list, so he can't get called up. And the thing is,
but he is, I swear, because he went with them.
This is where if I'm Rio, I'm fuming, because Slot, that criminal. The amount of times I was going on SGS from early saying, bro, you man need to play Rio. Rio needs to play. It was even midday live. I kept saying it, bro. But he's young and that. I'm like, bruv, it's not like he's got Mane ahead of him. It's a predictable Gakpo, that most fullbacks want to mark. There isn't fullbacks in the Prem that want to mark Rio, bruv. I don't care about the age. I don't care about the age because when you're facing a guy like Rio, man's gonna take you left, take you right, do the step overs, shoot. Like he creates so much space for himself, to let off shots. That's what I like about Rio. And the funny thing about Rio, bro, the guy's from Newham, The man of man that I know from Newham that play exactly like him and don't make it is mad. We've got bare ballers like Rio. I'm telling you, Rio is just a drop in the ocean when it comes to Newham. We've got bare man like him. We've got bare man like him, bro.
Don, it's similar to near me. My local boroughs are like ones of Lambeth, Southwark, and that. Bro, we've got the exact same borders of Rio as well that don't make it. But like you said, he's one of many, but he's been fortunate to get to that stage. But England now need to utilize him. I was of the same opinion as you, Don, that he should have been playing for us more, and that's why you're getting the Bayern Munich links, because all these clubs were contacting him while Slot was in charge. I do think me and you already spoke about this. I do think he stays, but he needs to be. I already told you that career mode. You know, when you pick crucial, important, sporadic.
Yeah.
He needs to have the conversation with him, saying you're either going to be crucial or important. If he's second string to Gakpo next season, he'll be gone this summer, bro.
No, he can't be. Like if Slot integrated him early, like even before the new year, bro, he would have been in contention for the World Cup. But because he came into the scene so late, and Liverpool was shit this season as well, he got overlooked. He didn't really get a real run to show what he can do. You know what I'm saying?
Do you know what I'd say with Rio as well? My mind's gone blank now. I was going to say something else with Rio, but
I just on this as well. Yeah, big up TTM for this comment. It says this is why Rio is the truth. I told Newham is the most Garrett ends for football, and it says even Barking and Dagenham use East London just carries, bro. We was talking about this last week on the terrace, yeah. When
we got to have a debate about this, because Southern,
we can have a different debate. Let me just name some players, and some of these players have retired as well, by the way. Let me just name some players from East London for the man, yeah. Paul Campbell is from Plaistow, right? Jermaine Defoe is from Betton. They're both from Newham.
Oh, wait, are you going all time? All time is you.
I'm going all time. I'm going all time.
You got Senrab. You got that team called Senrab that produced.
You know about Senrab. Yeah. We've got Ashley Cole. Ashley Cole's from Stepney, bruv. Yeah, Stepney. That's literally like near Whitechapel, Bow and that. Yeah. You've got John Terry's from Barking, I believe. Right. Lampard is like Romford. That's more on the Essex side of things, but he's near East London. Who else have you got? Esri Constance from Newham. Calvin Bassey's from Newham. Iwobi was living in Canning Town, bro. Right? You've got obviously Rio is from Newham.
Even Harry Kane as well from East London, bro.
Harry Kane's from Chingford. Yeah. Harry Kane's from Chingford. Yeah. Who else is well?
Wait, are you doing a little cheating thing now? Are you including Essex into the East London?
Chingford is there, bro. Chingford, like Tottenham, bro.
Yeah, fair.
Chingford is North East London.
I don't know East that well, but I know Essex and East London are very.
Yeah, no. Chingford is North East London, isn't it? It's like it's near like Tottenham and like North London, like all North East, right? So yeah, but East London over the years we've had players, man.
I thought you meant like last 10 or 15 years, because it's still close, but I think like your Lookmans, your Eze's, I'm even forgetting.
Ruben.
There's so many, bro. Reece James, your Declan Rice's, they're all Kingston, that, but it still kind of counts as. It's still intertwined into that kind of Southwest London, bro. We've got borders, but if you're going all time, Don, I'm not an idiot, bro. From when you're naming Defoe, Joe Cole, Rio Ferdinand, Terry,
Joe Cole.
You don't win that. You don't win that still.
Just to tie back into England. Oh, go on. Maybe last thing on this.
Go.
Just to tie back into England a bit. Just naturally, it's unfortunate that we see these kind of ballers just not get platformed the right way. Whether it's at club level with Slot, because Rio should have got way more minutes when Gakpo's doing what he's doing, Salah's doing what he's doing, but. It's a tale as old as time, bro, with England, but we've seen it for so many years. Like, even going back to like a Ravel Morrison, bro. Like, that guy was so cold. And if you got enough chances at a United or England, bro, then you're seeing this guy be a world-renowned name. And if they were maybe South American or maybe even Southern European, bro, like they were Spanish and that, they would have been given chances, bro. We know this.
Bro, this is what I always say about football. You know, football is all about it's the way your luck can just help you sometimes. Yeah, like for example, Rashford, bro. Rashford might not have been this player if they didn't get an injury at the beginning of his career, in that team, because he got called up because I think it was Martial that got injured, right? Yeah. And then I'm pretty sure he scored on his debut. And then he scored against Arsenal when they played Arsenal. You know what I'm saying? He started to cook from there. And that was
he had a 1 week opportunity and it changed his life, bro. It's crazy.
Changed his life completely, bro.
There's a better example, The United fans in the chat, like TTM and Mustafa, and that they might know. The class of 92 say that there was a youth that played with them that was the best thing apparently they'd seen, better than everyone. I can't remember why he didn't make it. It was either injury or he fell out of love with the game. But Beckham, the Neville brothers, Nicky Butt, Ryan Giggs, they all speak about it. Apparently of the co-player. I can't remember his name. United fans will know, but apparently he was clear, bro. But again, just didn't make it, bro. But
a lot of times it's luck. It's luck, which mainly like injuries, or having the right agent, or just opportunity, like to be seen by the right guy at the right time, and then get a run of games. Because sometimes it's like, oh, we have 2 games here. It's like he had 2 games coming on for 1 minute against West Ham when it's like 5-0 up. It's like that doesn't count as an opportunity. Getting actually a run of games is an opportunity, and then you have to obviously seize it. And somebody like Rio, if you give him an opportunity, he will seize it, bro. He will.
100%, bro. Even guys like Mufanda should have been playing already at Chelsea, bro. Before we even sent man on these loans, we should have integrated this guy. And then what happens? He gets injured, bro. And now his career's done.
You know the biggest Chelsea one, bro. Boga, bro. When Jeremy Boga got bust, he got his opportunity, yeah. Then Gary Cahill got the red card, and Conte hooked him.
Can I tell you a
story? We never saw him again.
Can I tell you a story with Boga, bro? Boga and Masunda. I've actually played against them in a goal. I told Don this story. You might not remember a time ago. I played against both of them in a goal sesh. I kid you not. Him, Marcus Edwards are probably the two techiest ballers I've played against. Marcus Edwards was unreal when he was at Spurs and that. But bro, Boga was making, because that day there was a couple League 2 and League 1. You know, sometimes during the summer, ballers just link up. They don't go
yeah.
They link up to play. And one of my friends at the time was at Peterborough, and he brought me to the sesh, right? But it was kind of in South. Bro, Boga is probably one of the most technically gifted players I've played against. He was just nutmegging pros like they weren't even there and just slotting it. It looked like he wasn't even trying, bro. It looked
I said this last time on
Masunda was cold as well. Masunda was cold.
I said, for me, the most talented player I've seen come out of Cobham, right? It doesn't mean they've made it to the first team, but when I've been watching that academy religiously, it's Jeremy Boga. Kakuta, I remember Kakuta too, but I was watching Jeremy Boga's time religiously, bro. Like, I would get up in the morning, and they used to have their games on Saturday because I used to have the box. Remember that box, that black box, blood? Yeah. I used to watch it, and I used to go to the games as well because one of my guys, Charlie Colkett, was in that team, right? That was cool, Charlie, bro. You know what I'm saying? So all them guys, Boga and that, bro. I played against Jeremy Boga for school, and bro, I've said this story before. I've told the people before this story. Yeah, when I played against this guy, bro, at halftime, we all just looked at each other and we didn't say a word to anyone. Yeah? We didn't say a word. We didn't say a word about nothing. I couldn't believe what was going on. Man was just grabbing the ball, and just running through everyone and just back, left foot, right foot. And I'm like, yo, like, how'd you stop this guy, bro? You know what I'm saying?
That's why I'm glad he had some career, because I had to follow his career afterwards. I'm like, people are like, oh, we didn't make it at Chelsea. I'm like, no, he's still done good in Italy with Atalanta, Sassuolo, bro. Got to like some good deep runs in Europe. He had a good career.
He played under De Zerbi, innit? I think he played under De Zerbi.
He did, bro. He's had a good career in Italy. Just because he didn't make it here, like, oh, he flopped. Like, no, he didn't flop. He just didn't get opportunity here. That's
exactly. And then HM says Hudson-Odoi, Ruben more talented. Ruben's in my top 3. But you know in terms of more talented than Boga, bro, I'm sorry. That Boga, for me, the best academy players I've seen is probably Boga and probably Jordan Ibe. Jordan Ibe was cold.
Do you know what, Don? You know what, Don? These are looking at the Chelsea youth team from when they were on the fringes of the first team. I don't think they actually watched FA Youth Cup games that mean you. Because remember, Charlie Colkett was in the same team as Jake Clark-Sauter, which is mad.
He was the captain. He was the captain, bro. Yeah.
Exactly. So I was going to a lot of the games, the FA Youth Cup at Spurs and the Emirates and whatnot. So me and you, I think a lot of these saw. I think like HM saying Ruben Loftus-Cheek and Odoi because they actually broke in the first team. But if you actually watch the youth team, Boga was the best, bro. Man, them know. You even had Izzy Brown was cold them times. And who's the youth that went Stoke? Mixture.
Baker, Lewis Baker.
Baker was cold in the youth team.
Lewis Baker, you're talking about Lewis Baker, bro. What is about Izzy Brown as well? You talk about opportunities, yeah, bro. He should have stayed at West Brom because he was making his Prem debut at I think he was 15 when he made his Premier League debut for West Brom. I remember watching that game, bro. Yeah, I remember watching that on Match of the Day or whatever it was because he was young, and then Chelsea bought him. But when he came to Chelsea, he was in the 18s and the 21s and that. But obviously, money talks. And then after that, his career went downhill, bro. He had to retire early because he never recovered from an ACL. I think it was an ACL he had. But he was at West Brom before he joined, and he was already in the first team. If he stayed there, bro, I promise you, he would have been in the Prem. He would have been in the Prem already.
You know what? Yeah, this reminds. Big up Calby with the shirt he's wearing there, because I know you have to dip soon. I want to speak about the team who I think is winning this, which is Spain, and I'll get into my logic, right? Yeah. I think Spain are being so disrespected this tournament, just from what I've seen and from what I'm hearing, because I think Spain are that team where, other than Yamal, you could say Rodri and Pedri, right? You're not going to associate them with many flashy names. But do you know what they have? They've got the Ferran Torreses, the Olmos, the Nico Williams, the Yamals that will all get 2 or 3 goals in a competition. Next thing you know, Spain have scored 12 goals in 7 or 8 games. And you got the Rodri that can come up clutch. And you know what I think they do better than every other nation? Maybe Portugal might be as good, but you're not going to get the ball off them. With Rodri, Pedri in that midfield, I just hope Pedri can stay fit. I genuinely think everyone's saying they don't have an out-and-out 9. I get that. But even your players like Marino, I don't know if Marino went, and Oyarzabal, these men will just chip in. I think Spain they don't have that one man that will score like, they won't have a top goal scorer contender like 7-8 goals, but have a lot of men that have 2 or 3 goals and it'll be spread out. These are my favorites to win it, man. I think people are really disrespecting Spain this tournament.
No, most people I've spoken to have said like Spain's one of their favorites, bro.
Swear,
I've been sitting
other way.
Nah, bro. Most people I'm speaking to have been putting Spain up there, bro. How about you?
Yeah. Go. Everybody has Spain up there. I think most people are probably picking maybe Brazil or France. Obviously, Argentina obviously there to maybe retain it. But again, bro, we did a little sweepstakes with Kings of the Bridge with Gem and that, right? And funnily enough, I got France, so I'm repping. I also got Mexico and I got Brazil. I got 3 of that. I got 3 teams.
You've won it.
I say that I've won it, but people are like, oh, you've won it. But I still say my prediction is still Spain, to be honest, bro. I think once Yamal gets fully fit, that's the X factor that this team needs to they'll just be clear, bro. Because for me, I think Oyarzabal is going to have a really good tournament because he was really good at the recent Nations League and he's always good as like their false 9. Obviously, he scored in the Euros final, I believe, as well. So like this guy, that they just got players who will always go out there and do a thing, and then the midfield is always naturally cold. You don't need to see who's on the lineup. If you just see it's a Spanish midfield, you know it's cold, and they're gonna just dominate the ball, especially in a climate like that. So of the European team and pretty much any team that isn't in South America, they're the most well equipped for this climate to actually compete with the Brazils, the Argentinas, and then actually win the big game. So listen, whoever beats Spain for me wins the tournament, and I just don't know who's gonna beat Spain, bro.
Do you know what? That's why a lot of the South American ballers normally stop off at a Benfica, a Sporting, or a Spanish team first before making it that Premier. It's rare you see a South American player go straight to the Premier. It's happened, obviously, but normally they stop off in a hot country. Like, because correct me if I'm wrong, Spain and Portugal are like only north of Morocco. They're still like close to Africa continent. And I completely agree with you. That midfield 3 there, Ruiz, Pedri, and Rodri, probably. Portugal up there with obviously Neves, Vitinha, and Bruno, but not a lot can chat that midfield now, and it's not rocket science. If you have the ball, the opposition can't hurt you, and I just think Spain are going to dominate a lot of games. The only Achilles heel with Spain, I'd say, is if when they come up against the pace and power, the likes of the Mbappes, the Dembeles, even like your Ryans and your Cunhas and Endricks, that powerful runners against that back line. That's when I think even Leao, I already said to you, Don, you already know, I'm not his biggest fan, but with spacing behind, he can hurt you. When they're coming up against powerful wingers and that, I do think they can get got at. But that's why I think the way they keep the ball combats all of them other factors. And for me, they're my favorites. And someone said in the chat, France are the favorites. When I've checked the bookies and I was actually surprised. It actually is Spain.
France, about France here, like, bro.
People are writing Spain off. A lot of people around me are just saying, they won't win it and that. They're my favorite.
Yeah, now France on paper for me have the best team in it. Like they've got the best talents everywhere. But again, man, it's the chemistry, man. I don't know what it is about France, bro. It's just I don't really see the chemistry there.
There's too much stress in the kitchen. There's too much.
It's like Turkey don't even get into that level for certain teams.
Yeah,
we can all say a team and we can have different players. That's what it is.
Do you know what it is? I saw something on Twitter here and it made me laugh. It was a front 4. It was Elise on the right, Duez on the Duez on the left, Elise on the right, Turkey in the 10, and it was Dembele as the false 9, and it was sometimes just sacrifice yourself for the team. So they were leaving Mbappe out. I'm thinking, you can't leave Mbappe out. He's four goals from matching the all-time, I think Miroslav Klose, he's 4 goals from matching the record, 5 goals to break it, which he probably...
Guys think they can take Mbappe out of that team.
You can't take
Mbappe is the team, bro. He's the dictator, bro. They don't realize.
You can't take that dictator out of that team. Impossible, bro.
But do you know what they're doing? Do you know what the logic was? Which I don't personally agree with this, but they were saying the last 2 years of football, Dembele's got back-to-back World Cups. Back-to-back Champions Leagues. Dembele's been playing better club football. But I'm sorry. This is why I think where Tuchel went wrong. When you've got your proven players that do well for your nation, like Mbappe, you play them, bro. So when people are trying to shoehorn and, you need to do what's best for the team and leave Mbappe out, that's crazy. But I agree. Don't hit the nail on the head. For me, it's going to be the chemistry. I think too many men are going to get in each other's way and whatnot. They'll get far, by the way. For me, they get semis minimum. They'll get far. But I just think for them to win it, and because they came close to going back to back. It was a penalty shootout. Do you get it? But there's something I got to say though. Yeah, the chat might laugh, you two might agree, but black man taking penalties, I never have confidence in the black man taking penalties. So I'll be real. I'm not condoning any that. Don't give them abuse in that. But you're even seeing Eze and Gabriel for Arsenal. That penalty shootout against Argentina. When I saw all of their team and I saw all of the black man line up, I said, nah, Argentina have won this. And they had Emily Martinez in goal. We're not.
Can I just say that that's why I hail up Balotelli, because he was the one black guy. You're like, he's called up. Balotelli wouldn't miss. Everybody else, you're like,
man. Nah, that's funny. That is hilarious, bro. What we say, man, them like, what would you say is France's strongest team? So this is their lineup from their last game, right? We'll just use that as a little template. Is there anyone in there that you're taking out and putting in?
I put Dembele on the left and put Cherki in the 10. I don't start Doué for France, but that's personally, I don't start Doué.
But no, I would start Dembele up front and Mbappe off the left. That's what I would do. So that way you still have like a number 10, whether that's at least say 10 or Cherki 10, and then somebody on the right to like cover defensively a little bit. Maybe
we said again, you'd have Dembele on the left.
So I would have Dembele probably false 9, like doing his full road.
And then Mbappe on the left.
Mbappe doing this thing off the left, because I feel like Mbappe is better facing the game when he can get the ball and just run at man. He's got his back to go a lot at the 9 for Real Madrid. It don't really work the same. But again, no matter what team you put up for France, even if they have injuries, they have by far the coldest squad by far for me. In terms of numbers, like the Portugal's up there in terms of like player ability. Brazil's obviously got players, but France is just cold. But that being said, the dictator's there. The dictator is there in Mbappe. And brother, this guy's managing to beef with everybody, including the nicest guy in football in Kante, bro. I don't know if you've had a team that. Bro, not only have they been beefing for months, bro. Now there's like a clip going out where like Kante shaking his hand as usual, and then Kante looks at Mbappe. And they don't shake hands. Like even Kante's like, I'm not gonna shake your hand. And for to do that to you, I don't know what you're doing to piss off Kante, but it's crazy. That's crazy.
Mad, you know. That's mad. The thing is, with Dembele, I feel like obviously, again, he's another one that's nursing the injury right now. They're blessed in it because they've got so many attackers that they can play, and give him a bit of rest, because he's another one that's had a long season, bro. You know what I'm saying? And PSG kind of manage him the same way too. You know what I mean? But if you look at their attackers, so. Bro, Bacola, they've got Akluj, if that's how you pronounce it.
Akluj is cold as well. He's cold.
Such a
play for?
Monaco, bro.
Monaco,
This is like, in terms of if they're losing the game or drawing, the way that they can change a game with Akluj, Bacola, maybe a Mateta up front, like, is crazy.
Mateta,
You see that man with the North African heritage. I call them Nat, North African Tech. Me and my boy Denzel, big up. We always say Nat. We always say Nat. But you see like the Cherkis, the Akliushis, like the Payets when he was around, that type of ilk, that Hussam Awar, them type of players, bro.
You know the original Nat, bro. You know Zidane's on the back of this, bro. Like,
Bro, these are the men that bang cage football in Paris, bro. Like the man there. You know what I'm saying? Like that's why I can relate to these Paris guys so much, bro, because they just remind me of London, bro. And one of my brothers, you see the beat that you man hear at the start of the show, even Rancy's channel, Saeed and that's my boy Dexy Beats, and he's French. Yeah, he grew up in Paris. You know what I'm saying? So one of my closest brothers is actually French. You know what I mean? So, and I love Paris myself, man. So. Yeah, man. Olise, Mandem, you know what I'm saying? Thuram, Mandem, you know what I'm saying? Mateta is a funny guy, bruv. Cherki, Dembele, Doué. Look at these attacking options, man.
And you're looking at steroids, bro. They're England on steroids and actually have won something as well. Like, that's where it's different.
Oh, they've got so many different profiles, bro. You've got Mateta there. If you want someone to just kind of like be like a target man, bro. You've got Mbappe. If you want that pace and power in behind. You've got Olise, the flair, the tech, bro. Thuram, again, another pace and power. You know what I mean, bro? Yeah. Doué is flamboyant. You know, the tech, the flair.
You know,
bro.
This is why I said everything in the team. This is why I said I know Spain beat them in the semis in the Euros, but I think one, they'll have that chip on their shoulder. I still think Spain win the World Cup, but if there is a team to beat them, it's a team like a France, possibly a Portugal, because I think pace and power could override the Spain team, but France would have to get the ball off Spain. That's the only thing. Spain are just going to be popping it around. Top city. Because when you look at this squad, I don't see any weakness. The midfield, some people might say the midfield might be the weakest upon, but I think Zaire Emery's a baller. Tchouameni, I want at my club. I don't care about his recent time at Madrid. That's still a baller there. Rabiot, I've not watched much of him. I can't really comment too much.
He's been all right recently, apparently. Yeah, that's what I thought. I don't watch. Is that Juve, isn't it?
Yeah. But can I just say, you're right. He's at Juve and he's actually doing all right. And obviously, whether it's him or Tchouameni,
Kone's cold as well.
They got solid guys to be behind maybe the front four, but what they maybe lack is like a proper creator, like somebody from midfield to really dictate a game. And where they were very good before was obviously they had, but he's more like a 10. So like, don't get me wrong, like if you have a front four, you have enough quality to win a game. But then it's a lot.
You mean like a Pogba type player?
That's kind of what they're missing a bit, to like be a creator from deep, and then have the runners around them. But like, they have the front four to create, but it's like not really the right balance for me, because there's a lot for the rest of the team to do. Because like their front four, are they going to work that hard off the ball against the right team? I don't know. They're going to do it.
Rabio's at Milan, by the way. Big up Doom for this comment. He's at Milan. You're right.
I hear what you're saying, but what I think Deschamps going to do, because you make a very good point, but I think you see how you look at the midfield section. I agree with you. You won't really associate any of them with creativity. However, I think Deschamps has said to himself, get the ball into the 10 as quickly as you can, whether it's a Cherky or not, and he's going to kind of create. But I agree with you. You mean kind of that orchestrate, that true Tony Kroos or Pirlo profile where
what Coutinho's going to do, They don't
that can create from deep. I hear you.
Somebody to help them keep the ball, because ultimately you're not going to be able to attack for 90 minutes, especially in this heat, right? After a long season. These men who had long seasons, right?
Yeah.
So like maybe might not be able to control the ball as well, which is why they need the right blend in the number 10. But we'll see what they do, because at the end of the day,
they haven't really got control of that. Can you not think of a French guy that you can say is like a Vitinha sort of profile? That's not Pogba. Pogba's not. Let's go away from Pogba.
He's the last one I could think of.
Yeah.
Can you not think of anyone like that?
The closest to that is like Zaire Emery, but he's not really. He's just more like an all-round player. But if you want to play him, then you probably really need you need two enforcers behind that front four, and you just hope for the best, because the front four, no matter, obviously Mbappe is going to start, but any three behind Mbappe or with Mbappe, that's enough to really win any game on its own. They just have to go and do it.
Do you know what I will say, Don? Yeah, and I agree with both of you. I don't think France at the moment have that deep lying kind of playmaker, or one that I know of anyway. But what I will say, I've watched Tchouameni a lot now, whether it's against my club, because we always draw Real Madrid every year, or even when I've watched a few La Liga games. I do think his passing is underrated. I'm not saying he can consistently do that job of the deep line, kind of that Hail Mary pass, that quarterback pass, right? But he does have it in his locker here and there. And do you know what else he has? We saw it against England. If the pass ain't on, he's got a decent shot on it. Do you know what I mean? And do you know you need moments in international football? So they might not necessarily need that, but that's great analysis, Ad, because when you actually deep it, they don't have that profile.
They don't. Bro. So that's very good.
As much as you would want them to keep it for their quality, but at the end of the day, they have enough in terms of passing ability. Like Tchouameni, he's not gonna go and run around in terms of getting into good pockets to keep the ball and just keep it tidy for 5 or 10 minutes. They're more like we'll get the ball, we'll find one of the ballers in attack, and then we'll just start an attack and try and score. Hectic over 90 minutes in the terrain with this humidity, right? And obviously over a tournament at the end of the season. So that's why France. Again, it's hard to pick against them, but I have them like second or third favorites for me. Yeah, but there's not many teams. There's not many teams that are going to be able to beat this team, bro. There's not many.
No, 100%, bro. But big up Israel for this. That's your receipt on Igal, Don. People don't give you the credit when you get it right, bro. Igal literally threatened me, and said, "Oh yeah, when I see you, this, that," because I said Olise is better than Saka, bro. Right? This was about 3 years ago. This was so long ago, and I remember saying this at the time. Some people were saying it's such a wild take. I said, bro, just use your eyes. All Olise needs is the platform. That's literally where it is, Romz. I said, bro, all Olise needs is the platform. When you watch this guy for what he does for Palace, bro, right? The numbers he's put up for Palace already in terms of chances created, assists, the goals that he's scoring, and a team that don't even play possession-style football, it's transitional-style football. Bro, when it goes to a Bayern Munich or goes to Chelsea or goes to a Man City with better players, that output will be even more. And that's exactly what's happening, bro.
Don't put up HM's comment.
Exactly what's happening.
Put up HM's comment. Big up Terry and KJ every time, but when it's time to clip Don, it's all on the clip pages. But now he's actually got something right. Will they say, you know what, Don was right about something three years ago? I doubt they will, bro. And the thing is,
of course they won't. Because that's not what sells, though.
Exactly. But with the Saka and with the Lise debate, I say with many things in football, you just have to have eyes. Like me and Don got cooked for saying Esteval's better than Saka early. What's he done in the game? What's this? Sometimes just watch that. Yes, a player might be more proven and experienced, but if you look at their attributes and you take stats and that away and take them for the footballer they are, it was clear as day, bro.
For me, it was easy to say before you come in, Ads. Yeah, for me, it was easy to say it because, like, I've never put Saka on this pedestal that they put him on.
Same.
So for me to say this person's better than him, to them it's like, how can you say that? I'm like, bro, I've never put Saka on this level that you man put him at, because when I look at you, man, and I'm like, yo, you literally had Alexis Sanchez in your team. That's one of my favorite players. As much as they used to try and bring him to Hazard, he's still one of my favorite players I've seen play. Right?
Yeah.
That is what you call an elite footballer. When they talk about Saka to me, I'm like, bro, allow me, bro. Like, Olise is the truth. You know what I mean? Olise is the truth, not Bukayo, bruv. You know what I mean? And I was saying this time ago.
Oh, bro, I was there saying that with you, bro. We've been doing this for how many years talking about these kind of players, bro. And that's why with Saka, we can go back and forth in terms of how good he is. But then at the top level, his end product, his X factor, is he going to win you moments on a consistent basis? No. We saw with Olise, we saw enough at Palace. When it's him and Eze bullying, jugging out, we could tell, yeah, if Olise goes to the right club, he's going to ball out. That's why I wanted them at Chelsea. He went to Bayern, and the rest is history, bro. But again, you might one thing you guys are probably missing, right? You're saying that you need to watch it with your eyes. But you might grew up around footballers, around ballers, right? Some of these guys, that they might have the eyes to watch the game, but they don't actually see it properly. So they might see a baller, or maybe they're just on the teel more than actually watching the game.
Really. Oh, there's bare man like that. I'm telling you, there's bare man.
But they don't really know it like that.
When you've played at a good level, yeah, and you're speaking to certain man, bro, it don't take me long to know if I know that you know ball, innit? Like, I can speak to someone within 10, 15 minutes. I'm like, yeah, this guy knows ball. Certain man, when they say certain things, I'm like, bro, this guy don't play. I can just
that's the same thing with watching football, right? You can be like, people are like, how have you only watched 2 games and you're like, you know he's good? It's like, you don't need to watch somebody for a season to be able to give an opinion. You don't. You know enough football, you know, bro. You just know.
You know what? And Ads, this brings me on to my next point, yeah? When I get called tech merchant all the time, Don's probably got this as well. But like, eye test, you don't care about actually winning a game, goals win games. But this is why my favorite players do both, because I'm not ignoring that side of the game. That's so important as well. Like, if you just have all the flicks and tricks and you just have all this technical ability but no end products really with it, then you end up like a Remy Cabella, a Saint Maximin, that player of that type of ilk.
You end up like Tarat, bro.
Yeah, you know or the Ben Arthurs, which players I love to watch, but it's like, what are you doing at the end? That's why my favorite players, like your Messi, your Neymar, your Miles, my fan base hate me because I think Hazard over Salah, but that's my preference. I rather enjoy watching Hazard over Salah, and that's where the kind of hate and you're not a Liverpool fan comes from. It's like, no, I just like one. To be fair, I've been harsh on Salah because the more and more I've appreciated him, and I do appreciate his technical ability more, but it's still not to a Hazard, in my opinion. You know what I mean?
You're right. When you talk about the mentality, like, it's like you have to have the baller ability, but then also you can't just be a baller. You have to actually do it when it matters. And like that's why I can talk about Liverpool and be like, I can clown like the Brexit midfield, which was like Milner, Henderson, and maybe Wijnaldum, right? It wasn't like flashy, but that won a Champions League. That done some serious title races, bro. So like, you don't have to think, they're not as flashy. Let's say like Pogba at that time, right? But that midfield was way more efficient than Man United's midfield, obviously. So you have to have like obviously both, and obviously that team of course had Salah, Mane, and obviously we can go on about the end product, right? The actual game-winning ability. So it's about having both, and that's why this France team, just for example, they've got winners now who've actually done it. And of course, in terms of ability to being teched out, they have all of that.
Don't quickly bring up a comment, yeah, because a lot of people disagree with me. I stand on what I say. I don't just adhere to the masses.
I thought you saw that comment, the Sancho one.
Yeah, but let me tell you something about Sancho. Yeah, cool. Villa didn't do that well and whatnot. For me, if he was to stay, you know how Don, you said someone's biggest mistake is not staying. Yeah, Izzy, when you're saying you should have stayed at
Izzy Brown. Yeah.
I'm comparing the situation, but I've played football at a high level. I've been around footballers that play a high level, right? Environment can be everything. I'm telling you, environment and management can be everything. I still believe Sancho is very talented. Whether people want to say Sancho in 2026, for me, that's very like that's surface-based analysis. I think if he was to go back to, you can't ask me to forget what he done with the Haalands and when he was in that Dortmund team And when he cooked Nuno Mendes, something that Saka's not really done yet, by the way.
I remember when they played against Neymar, bro. That he was the best player on the pitch.
Sancho,
exactly, that's a record, bro. Him and Messi have the equal record for most dribbles in a semi-final of the Champions League.
Exactly. So do you know what is ads here? Can I admit Sancho's been underwhelming the last maybe even 2 years? Yes, I can. I'm not going to be in denial. I admit when I'm wrong. But do I still think there's a player, even for you lot, I saw glimpses where Sancho, don't get twisted, he wasn't inconsistent. There's some games where he didn't impact. It's similar to João Felix. I remember João Felix's his debut as well at Fulham, and he was electric that day, but then he got sent off. But Sancho, I still think there's a player there. So when Nico's telling me, Sancho in 2026, I actually agree with his latest comment. His application, I think, is what's wrong. But when people are trying to tell me Sancho's not a footballer, I just say, have a nice day. There's some
bro. Let me respond to this as well. Dip that says, Don, you tried to put Esteval in the same tier as Yamal. That's a howler. Yamal is like 10 times better, bro.
First of all, didn't. We had this debate. He didn't. He said finishing aspect.
Exactly, bro. Don't lie. First of all, don't lie and say that I've put Esteval in the same category as Yamal, because I made it very clear. I said Yamal is still ahead of Esteval right now because he's already been playing in Europe and has already won things in Europe. Yamal, when it comes to the CV, Esteval can't chat to Yamal right now. But what I said is, if you look at their talents, bro, for the guys at that age, there's not many people at that age who are as polished as both of those guys are, right? And me and Romz were going back and forth about this. Romz was like, yo, I don't know what you're saying, bro. How can you even talk about these two together?
I didn't actually understand that first.
And then Romz was like, you know what, Don, I can't lie, bro. Esteval might be a better finisher than Yamal, you know. He told me this after months of not hearing it, bro. Yeah, he said Yamal is more like a facilitator, but when it comes to the finishing aspect of the game, I'll probably say Esteval is more of a better finisher than Yamal.
You know what I'm saying? Call me a flip-flop, yeah? At the time I didn't hear it, then I started that Esteval performance against Barca and what I've seen him do Club World Cup. But I actually go back to that now. Like, you know how much I rate Esteval, but I still think in every facet of the game, I go back to what I originally said. I do think it is Yamal.
Yeah, but the thing is, Romz, you know, it's recency bias though, because you have to remember we're yet to see Esteval have a run of games at Chelsea, bro. All we've seen is flashes and glimpses, right? We're yet to see Esteval just start 10 Premier League games in a row. We haven't seen it. Whereas Yamal starts every game. I'm telling you now, bro. Esteval was on the verge of going to PSG and these sort of teams. If he had gone to PSG, we would be looking at him and saying, yo, who the hell is this guy? How the fuck did no one else in Europe find him, bro? Like in England, find him, because he'll be playing a lot more there. At Chelsea, bro, man came here. It's Shirley and Neto on the wing. You see Esteval start a Champions League game. He plays well. We don't see him again in the Prem, bro. He starts a Premier League game. The next game he don't play. So it's like you're not gonna overly pop the guy because you're not really seeing him. You know what I'm saying? But end of the day, with my take on Esteval, right? Like I said, Yamal is better than Esteval. I'm not arguing that right now. But time will tell about who's gonna be the best player in the world with time to come. With time to come. For me, the main thing we need to do is bring better players around him and give him those minutes, bro. And you will see how good he is. Because for him to have that record right now in Brazil, man will say, it's the Brazilian league, bro. Neymar was there. Endrick was there. Yeah. You had Pato was there. Yeah. Bare players have been there, bro. In Vinny. Yeah. Rodrigo. Esteval holds that record of the most GNA before he touches 18 in Brazil, bro. It's not a joke. This guy is a top player, bro. He needs to play. That's what he needs to play, bro. With better players too.
Where we'll have to agree to disagree. And I rate Esteval. Like I said, I only had to see. Remember, I told you I was at the Leverkusen and Chelsea game when him and Palmer, that preseason game, and I was at, and that was Leverkusen's strong team. They had man like Hincapié, Tapsoba, and them not playing. I was like, Don, this Esteval, because you were telling me about him before, but I hadn't seen him yet. I'm not going to comment on players I've not seen. What I saw him and Yamal doing, him and Palmer doing to that Leverkusen team, I was like, Don, I see it. You know what you were saying just now? Adds that you don't have to see. I only have to see 5 or 10 minutes of Esteval to know he's the truth. But where me and you agree to disagree, Don, I just don't think Esteval will ever reach that Yamal level. And then, again, I know you're saying that's a bit disingenuous because he's not really been given a run of games. He's not been given a stage to prove it. And this is why it pisses me off. that he's not playing for the nation I love this summer because
No,
this would have been
and if you want to talk about that Brazil again,
can we segue into Brazil quick? I want to speak about them just like 2-3 minutes.
Go. Yeah, let's talk about Brazil. Let's finish up on Brazil.
This now you know I'm not a hypocrite, yeah. Neymar's my favorite player of all time. No, keyword before people mix this up. Not best, by the way. Messi's the GOAT and whatnot, in my opinion, but he's my favorite. Like our generation, it's like he raised us. The hypervenoms, the no sir, as we go, say go, and Paredo, all them shoes with Michael Tager. Yeah, he raised us, bro. That Santos, we were all remember FIFA. We were picking Santos. We only knew Neymar. We didn't know the other 10 players. We only knew Neymar. Like, in FIFA,
bro, Neymar. I got introduced to Neymar, yeah, in the Olympics. Yeah. And I remember West Ham were linked to him as well, bro. They nearly signed him, you know.
So do you know what is with Neymar? That's my favorite player of all time. But like I said about Ronaldo, the idea is better than the reality. This is how you lot know I'm not a hypocrite. I'm being consistent here. Do I think Neymar should start every game? I'd love him to, but do I think that's best for the team? No. But he still, speak about moments, players. That goal against Croatia is one of the best World Cup goals I'd see. To have the composure, the 1-2, the feint, and then to roof it. Because it was still a hard finish. Some people are going to say he was only 2 yards from goal. It was still a hard finish. The angle was quite acute, yeah? But this is what I will say. Do I think he should start the group stage games? No. Apparently, he's still not fully trained. He's in the gym, but apparently still not fully training. Similar to Saka. I think they're managing him, right? But I don't think he should start every game. Knockouts, that's when I'll start to introduce him. But you see, Brazil, this is the most confident I've been in Brazil in a long time because I'm seeing they've got Edison and Addison, two top keepers. I've always had question marks over their defense. I'm not going to lie and say I know their fullbacks that well, but when I'm seeing Gabriel, and look, I know I've been grilling him. Karma might hit me. I've been grilling him. He might just have a stick there. Gabriel and Marquinhos, that's experience. You got Danilo, Alexandro, and whatnot. The only thing with Brazil is I feel like they've got a lot of OAPs in their back four. Again, teams like your Frances and Portugals, they get in behind. But then I expect the quality of your Alissons and your Edisons to be good shot stoppers because I think Brazil are going to have to rely on their keepers quite a bit. But one thing Ancelotti
go, Romz, go, finish.
Last point. One thing Ancelotti does, which I love, you saw it in his Madrid teams that won 2 Champions League. He lets players just express themselves. There's no real structure. There's no real formation. He'll just say, Vinny, Bellingham, all you play, you lot, Benzema, you lot express yourself. And what better nation to do that with Brazil? Because this squad might not reflect Brazil teams of the past, but that identity still needs to remain. Let your Vinnies, your Ryans, your Rafinhas, your Neymar, your Endricks, let them express themselves. Again, I think Spain, I'd love Brazil to win it, by the way. I've always liked Brazil from little, like the Robinhos, the R9s, the Ronaldinhos, right? The Kaká, the Coutinho. I've always liked Brazil from young. However, I don't think they win it, but I do think they go far because this is the most complete. Even their midfield now, you've got the robustness of the Bruno Guimaraes, you've got the Fabinos, even though Casemiro. I think this is their. You could still say you've got some scrubs like Martinelli, and I don't know much about Luis Henrique. Apparently, he's quite good because I follow a lot of Brazilian accounts. But Martinelli and Igor Thiago, for me, that depresses me when I see that.
Nah, bro. How Pedro, bro, that's because of 10th place finish again.
Yeah. How Pedro didn't get in, Don? It infuriates me. You know
what? I was picking Spain and I won over now. Brazil are winning. Listen, yeah, football's coming to its spiritual home. It's coming to its spiritual home because we know football really got football when it went to Brazil, bro. Brazil, the way they play football in Brazil is different, bro. And listen, I'm seeing this squad here. I think it's gonna come home. I'll be real. I think it's coming home because listen, the way you compare Neymar's sort of like time at Brazil to CR7 with Portugal, right? With Neymar, he's actually gonna be able to sort of be like that kind of guy who's like, yeah, I'm the guy, but I'm not gonna play every single minute. He's not like, let's say, like deluded in a sense like CR7, where CR7 thinks I gotta be the main guy, I gotta play every minute, I gotta score every big goal. Neymar's gonna be able to come and do his thing, have cameos and whatnot. But for me, what's really got me excited on top of everything Romz has said, right, which is true. Again, the midfield has the balance. They have enough guys in their attack who can do a thing. And obviously, you need big tournaments from the likes of Vinny. He's got to prove it at that stage for Brazil. And I think he will. Rafinha's coming up a great season, great couple of seasons for Barcelona. He's got to do it again for Brazil. He has to do it. And I think he will. But for me, the biggest X factor, right, and it's kind of similar to the Portugal conversation, is the manager. And I think Don Carlo Ancelotti, I think he's the guy to all together. And it's great because, obviously his second in charge is obviously Paul Clements. Obviously, I've seen him at Chelsea, and he's been around in the game for a long, long time, right? And even on an interview recently on Sky Sports talking about how he got the right blend of players and even how they're kind of getting this team ready with how the culture is with Brazil. These men are serious, bro. It's in the right climate for them. They got the right players. They've got defenders who can actually properly defend. They've got winners everywhere.
What are you saying about their fullbacks? What are you saying about their fullbacks?
They've got enough. They've got enough for the fullbacks. They've got enough in the team in general, bro. Alexandro's there.
I think that Wesley guy, a lot top Saka, bro.
That's what I'm saying, bro. For the Portuguese team. What are they called? Porto, right?
Yeah, Porto, when they had literally no shots on target and that.
Exactly.
When they went away from home. Yeah.
People don't know about all the guys
in the Emirates as well.
That's the thing. People don't know about all the guys in the team because they're not the biggest names around. But they got players, bro, and even the midfield again. Everybody should know the midfielders. They've got a serious team, bro, and they got the manager to put it all together. So the only question is if the Vinnies and the Rafinhas are going to actually do what they need to do. But I think they will. They will.
Let me give
you before you come in, Romz, bro. Esteval's going to be a miss as well, man. Because boy, in 2025 he was literally their leading goal scorer with 5 international goals. Yeah. And he's already scored. He's got 5 goals for Brazil in 11 appearances, and not all these appearances have been starting either. When he was recently there, bro, he was just banging in goals. Like they're giving him the penalty. I remember the Emirates. They had a game at the Emirates. He scored at the Emirates as well.
He had that Starboy energy. I'll be real. He took the chain from Endrick in terms of being like the new Starboy from Endrick. But I feel like Endrick's coming into this in a good form with Leon.
Yeah.
And bro, Endrick, when he strikes a ball, everybody hears it in the stadium, bro.
And that brings me to my point. Because I did a little prediction thing earlier with one of my boys. I think Endrick, similar to France, I think they get far. This is where I want to be wrong. I don't think Brazil win it, but I think Endrick finishes top goal scorer. That's my hot take. I think, like you said, Adjer, that guy
finishes top goal scorer. Yeah,
I think Endrick finishes top goal scorer because I think he's actually going to be Brazil's focal point. Some are saying Kuna might start false 9. Some are even saying Vinny could start false 9, which I think you're just taking away from his game there. But bro, I think Endrick. Remember they were saying he was the heir to the throne, this, that, and the other.
Yeah.
I 100% agree. But the more and more I watch him, that bullet shot, I think he's going to be a problem. I think he's going to be. You remember like that Defoe striker? Again, not comparing them, but you know that snapshot where half a second just hit it. I think Brazil might have some games where they're not even playing well. He just gets out of his feet, bang, before the keeper's even set himself. It's 1-0 Brazil, or he gets him in the
Bro, it's the full. It's literally the full. I'm glad you said that, but it's like no backlift, just boom, it's
done. Bang.
He can even dive, bro. It's just gone, bro.
The only thing that worries me though, I've got a boy that loves French football in it, and the way he started at Lyon, I think it was like 4 goals in his first 5. He started, then he kind of I think he had a little niggling injury. It didn't keep him up for too long, but his latter games for Lyon wasn't all that. I just hope he can rediscover the form when he first went there in January or February. But when he first went there,
you're right, and I feel like just hopefully the vibe of Brazil. I mean, when they're all together, the Brazilians just play a bit different, So we'll see, man. But the hating
why people so against HM? Don't be like, bro. Listen, end of the day, that's the whole point of this. Like, I don't know if you want us to just have these boring dinosaur takes. Oh yeah, I think Kane will be the highest goal scorer. Let a man think outside the box, bro. You know what I'm saying?
The thing is done.
Do you know it always have to be a popular take, bro? You know what I'm saying?
You know it's HM earlier. Big up HM, by the way. He's always in the
HM's my guy, by the way. He's my guy. It's actually my guy. Go.
Big up HM. But even I didn't even know that. Even before me knowing he's your actual guy, I always had
not actual guy. Not in real life. I'm saying he's my guy from the chat. He's my guy from the chat.
See, that's what I originally thought. But even he's here every week. But he said something earlier like Romz just throws a lot of stuff and hopes like one stick. If that's your opinion, that's your opinion. But I always have logic to what I'm saying. Like Don said, right? You might think that's a mad shout, but why is that a mad shout when he's gonna have the likes of Vinny, he's gonna have the likes of Rafinha, Neymar, and all these players, Lucas Paqueta, which I think still criminally underrated. These players, I'm supplying him, bro, and
Leon, he hit off straight away at Leon, bro, straight away.
Like I just said, though, he tailed off a bit. Back in the season, he did tail off a bit. But I think,
but World Cup, it's not going to be as many games as what he played for Lyon, bro. You get it?
A lot of the Brazilians were like getting ready for this, bro. They're telling off for a reason. A lot of the Brazilians, bro.
Yeah. And like I said earlier, out of the European teams, it's more the Portuguese and Spanish players that are accustomed to that climate. Brazil and Argentinians, they're from that region of the world. This is second nature to them, bro. So bro, I hope you're right. There's not. I want old enough. I don't remember that 2002 one, bro. I want Nate, and I need it for Neymar because you know how they say football, you never normally get the fairy tale ending. You never do. There's so many storylines that Gerrard not winning the league for me pains me still to this day. Yeah. But Messi got his fairy tale ending. Again, I don't think it happens for Neymar, but bro, I've been praying for like the last 6 months that Brazil do this, bro. You know, even if Neymar does what Ronaldo did in 2016 and he's orchestrating off the bench and that, I just need him to be in the squad. Because you know another thing, he wasn't in the Copa America squad, you know, when they won it.
Yeah.
Like Olympics, me personally, I don't think it's made it. It's still massive though. Last penalty in Brazil, it was massive. But he needs that major trophy.
That year he was cooking when he got injured, bro. That was pain.
I know he was. I think he's old. Listen, I will never.
In Brazil, innit?
I was in Brazil, bro. He was cooking that whole tournament. The same thing with the same season where the same tournament where W scored that crazy free kick. But Neymar was hooping out. But I'm never gonna forget the guy's name. You know, Zuniga, the Colombian guy. I'll never forget him, bro, because he just ruined the whole vibe, bro. The knee into the back ruined his tournament. That's like Neymar's old Sutton, bro. And I'm glad he got to go back to Brazil. And obviously, he done a thing with Santos, I think, where he kept them up, right? Like, he had a good end to the season. So
he got injured in this one as well. Yeah, I remember he was going crazy.
Yeah.
He was going crazy in that one.
At least he's made this one. Carlo made the boss call and brought him in, even though he wasn't looking like he was going to go. He's injured for the first maybe game or two, but he's going to be there. So hopefully, maybe he has a moment in the knockouts at the very least. You know.
Do you know what it is, Ads? Yeah, with the whole like Neymar thing. Even that World Cup where he could, the compilation literally comes around probably once a week, twice a week. Yeah. I still think Germany would have beat Brazil. I'm not gonna lie, that Germany team was fake, but it's not 7. Remember, it wasn't just Neymar. Thiago Silva. It was their best centre back at the time as well. Thiago Silva was missing. If Neymar doesn't get injured, because I think by that point Germany were 2 goals ahead or 1 goal. I can't even remember it, but I know they weren't battering them at that point. But that game, Germany was still on smoke. I have to be objective there. For me, they still win that World Cup. What they were doing that World Cup, what Özil especially was doing, was a madness. But they wouldn't have got battered 7-1.
No, because the leaders there to like help them when they went 1 goal down, innit? Because obviously the first goal they probably wouldn't have stopped regardless. But
bro. When you're looking around, bro, you might have bang ball, bro. When you're looking around and you're seeing your best players on the pitch still, you've got hope. You've got hope in it because you give them the ball and you know they're gonna do something. You're looking around, Neymar's not there. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, oh shit.
Oscar and Hulk and then what, Fred and that. Then you're
man. It's not the same. It's not the same thing, bro. You've taken like one of your best player, arguably your best. Actually, he was their best player.
Bro,
you know what I'm saying? So
he's one of their greatest players ever, bro, and he's their top scorer ever. So you're just hoping he has maybe one more moment in him at this tournament, at least one.
Facts, that might have been my favorite World Cup. You know, 2018. I'm deep in it. Him and James Rodriguez, bro. Them two are just moving.
Hazard was the best player that tournament.
Yeah, sorry. How can I forget, bro? Hazard is wrong.
When he bucked Neymar, he showed guys what was up. You know what I'm saying?
That quarterfinal was good, you know. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, but
hey, I know I'm not a Chelsea fan, but don't you know that's one of, if not my favorite player of the Premier League. I love Hazard. I love that player, bro.
Hazard, bro.
I love that player.
That's a whole stream in itself. But someone asked me my take on Neymar earlier, bro. I literally echo what these men have said. One of my favorite players. An all-timer for me. I loved watching his time at Barcelona as well. It was a bit annoying that he left like early. Obviously, he didn't want to be in the shadow of Messi anymore, and obviously Suarez was still there in that as well. Yeah, but I'm telling you, that era, bro. I used to watch the Barcelona games weekly and the Real Madrid games because that was when they had Ronaldo, Bale, Benzema, and obviously you had MSN during that time as well, blood. That era there, because for me, my favorite midfielder is Iniesta, innit? Like ever. You know what I'm saying? Iniesta is my favorite midfielder, bro. I used to love that Barcelona team. I used to love watching them, bro. Every single week.
How could you love them after Iniesta's cold, innit? I can't go on a stream and say Iniesta's not cold, but I don't know how a Chelsea fan can love Barca at that time after what they did. And
objectively, this is the football man in me. Barcelona is always going to be they're always going to be our ops. But end of the day, I sleep at night because on our way to getting number 1, we beat them, and that was a team that beat Man United twice in the final. Bro.
That was prime Barca. That was
prime Barca, bro. Yeah,
and then it took Messi so many games to score against Czech as well. He used to struggle to score against Czech, bro.
You know what it is with Neymar? Yeah, for me, his last 2 years at Barca and his first 2 years at PSG, that I think it was like 2014 to like 2018-ish or 2015, maybe even a 5-year peak. His last 2 years at Barcelona, last 3 years at Barcelona, first 2 years of PSG. I've not seen anything like it. I've seen Messi, but Messi's different. He's the best, but he's more efficient. Neymar does it in a more enjoyable. I can't really explain
but
it.
Neymar's more skills, isn't it? Neymar's more skills.
Yeah, Neymar was more skills because like Messi can do the skills and that, but he just kind of does his own thing in it. But Neymar could just do everything with the right and left foot. Neymar will do it with the right and left foot. And the funny thing about Messi, like at that time, Messi would never get injured ever, really. But the one time he went out, it was like a 12-13 game run. The way Neymar stepped up and he was balling, but then the numbers were all there because it was built around Neymar. It's like people understand if Messi wasn't there, Neymar's winning multiple Ballon d'Ors.
Even the remontada.
Of course.
Neymar carried them.
That remontada, Neymar was the driving force.
With Suarez and Messi and Iniesta on the pitch, is Neymar doing that? Like, come on.
Yeah, bro. Like Neymar, he's up there.
You know what? Quickly before we wrap, this narrative I don't like because my shameless fan base tried to do a Salah versus Neymar thing, and it depressed me, it upset me, bro. But you know what I hate? They even tried to bring numbers, bro. And Neymar's numbers are unreal. You're Brazil's highest ever top goals. Brazil have had man like Romario, Ronaldinho, Pele. They've had greats, bro. And you're the leading goal scorer. And then not even that. Look at his Barca and Santos and PSG GA. It's still mad. That's why there's nothing this footballer can't do. The only
thing and he's arguably part of the best front three we've seen. That's the best front three I've seen personally, isn't it?
I wasn't old enough for Ronaldinho, Rivaldo, and R9, but in
club, that was before my time.
That's the best front three I've seen, bro. That MSN,
man. I'm telling you, bro. Like me, I'm so happy. I'm so happy, that I was so like on it every single week. I remember, bro, it was so fun watching Barcelona them times, because bro. One game week, Messi will get a hat trick, and then what time it is for Ronaldo when Ronaldo plays. Ronaldo will then get a hat trick as well. Like that era of football was just amazing.
MSN, BBC, it was crazy, but at the same time, MSN was just a different like kind of the way they were combining as well. Because BBC was like they're doing everything like across the pitch, just putting in like cutting inside top corner, but like the way Neymar would then link up with Suarez and then Messi would come over, it was just crazy, bro.
Mad, bro. You know what I'm saying? And Suarez again, one of my favorite players ever. For me, when it comes to natural ability, like, because I only really started watching the Prem from, like, if I remember correctly, it was probably like, okay, I remember Chelsea winning the league 04-05 and the season after. The season after, right, when we won back-to-back, that's probably when I first really started to watch football and, like, really understand what was going on. Before that, it was more just like, you know when you're playing out, you go in the house, you watch the football, you go play out with your friends. I wasn't involved. I was like 7 years old, 8 years old, bro. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, for me, 06 onwards, bro, Hazard is the most naturally gifted player I've seen in the Premier League. And then for me, second is Suarez. I haven't seen a player more talented than Hazard from 06 onwards in the league, bro. I just haven't. Like
that's my top two as well.
You're gonna get to Messi, bro. The dribbling, the way that guy used to just, bro, the team, like, bro, during that time, ads, it would have been darker for us a lot longer if we didn't have Hazard in it. You know that.
Very, bro. Very. That was literally by himself. Because literally, like when you look at MSN had their thing, obviously Madrid's front three had their thing, but then obviously Salah had Mane, a proper running partner, and Firmino doing his thing. Hazard didn't really have that, like in terms of the attack, other than Diego Costa. Diego Costa was a proper running partner, and they won two leagues out of 3 years. They were together, bro. Outside of that, Willian was okay, but up and down, and then after that, he was playing with like Morata and Higuain and all these other joke men, bro. So
facts, bro. Finish up on this point because the man have got a cut. Everyone, me and Romz got to get a trim, bro. AP said, I've got to get a trim. You got to get a trim.
I've got to travel to another part of the country, bro. Right now.
Is it?
Yeah. I've got time to get my train.
Yeah, we'll be back on Friday, people, because I've got a funeral tomorrow, so I need to get a haircut for that one. Yeah. But AP says, already said it. Hazard is the best player I've seen in the Prem, bro. I'm telling you now, that's what pisses me off about his second half of his time at Chelsea, right? If this guy had left decorated like KDB and these sort of guys, there would be conversations about, is this guy the GOAT of the Prem? You don't hear it because he just didn't win enough. Like he won things for Chelsea, yes, but he's not like KDB level of winning and David Silva level of winning because he was in a rubbed out team the second half, bro.
I was gonna say, bro, you have either I called it. I've been down there. I actually have to cut now, but bro, we're definitely doing this again, bro. Like, and you look, don't even know. I had to go physio during this, and it got cancelled. Certain things happen for a reason, bro. But bro, I'm happy was in the stream as long as but we're definitely link up again.
100%.
Don,
Yeah, no, bro. I'll get you man on again. I'll get you man on again. We're gonna talk about transfer today, but we've been needed to speak about the World Cup anyway because I've been taking a little break. We're back now. Yeah, but we're gonna do a proper transfer show, people. I spoke to Mel, so hopefully she's around on Friday. Big up Romz. I'm just waiting for her to confirm time. But Ads, what's the rest of your week looking like, bro? You just chilling, yeah? Baking off.
I mean, just more work, just chilling. Obviously got tomorrow off, which is good. But really just chilling, just working what I can. Obviously, I'm always gonna be on the show when I can. Obviously, been working a bit with Gem and that, which is why Kings of the Bridge is in my tag there. But whenever it's a good time to come on the show and talk real ball, I love to come in and talk real ball, especially when Chelsea are doing good. But if not, we can always just talk real about the sport, bro. We love the sport. And we've been watching it. And the thing is, we've been watching it for so many years. Like when you watch something or you're involved in something for 10, 15 plus years, you instantly, I wouldn't say you're an expert, but you know so much about it that you can talk about it like you're, an expert if you want to say that. So
100%, bro. You know what I mean? So yeah, now definitely people. I think over the summer, I'm gonna do a lot of like the one-to-ones with people, smaller panels. Blue diaries will still be about here and there, like depending on who Chelsea sign and whatnot. But I think over the summer, I'm gonna try and minimize the amount of people I'm getting on panels. And just have these conversations like Ads, Romz, and these sort of guys, Goonie, obviously Mel. I spoke with Nina the other day, but she's really busy at the minute. Alex, I need to get him on the channel as well. So I'll get Alex on there. Carefree Lewis, these sort of people, innit? So you're still going to see panels people over the break, but you're going to see a lot of one-to-ones and like 3-man panels, 4-man panels. I think that'll be good. That'll be good for the summer, man. But big everyone up. No show tomorrow, people. I should be back on Friday. But big up everyone that was here, man. That was lit. In a bit. Bless. Love.